What's good, everybody? Welcome to Q and Colb. We got JP on the show today, which means we gonna have a good time because usually we have a good time with JP on the show, man. JP, how's everything going with you, man?
It's going great. I'm happy to be back on. I'm happy to talk some ball with you guys. We got a whole lot to talk about from everywhere. So I'm excited to get into it.
It seems like your health and your energy gets better the further and further away you get from September. And the closer you get to the draft, right? Like it just, I've been looking at that like, hey, bro, we only got 2 months to the Senior Bowl.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I have already started doing mock drafts. The simulator tabs are already saved on my computer. We are just here ready. We're waiting. We're waiting for NFL draft season.
I am ready to fall in love with the guard at the Senior Bowl. Let's go ahead and get into it, man. We got a lot to talk about, but Monday Night Football, Cleveland Browns played in it. And look, I'm gonna be honest, as a Browns fan, when you're 3-8, Jameis Winston, okay, yeah, that kind of works, right? Because you ain't that bad that he threw you out that game as much as he threw you into that game. I do caution people when they get a little bit too excited about the Jameis trade, like, oh yeah, let's just sign him to 3 years or whatever it is, or 2 years or anything like that. I'm like, hey, bro, this gonna hit a lot different in September. Because if he would have had this game in September, y'all would have wanted him gone, right? Talking about can the Lord deliver me from pick sixes? Yeah, that shit's funny now, right? That shit is funny when you ain't got no hope to win no playoff game, brother. Could you imagine he said that shit after the Cowboys game? And he the reason he threw 3 pick sixes? I'm like, you play with the Lord? Like,
I don't even know if I can explain the Jameis Winston experience, bro. It's so crazy. It's like I never seen nothing like it. It's one thing when it's happening and it's not your team, but when it's your team and you watching him, bro, he really looked like he could be a franchise quarterback, except the 3 throws.
This is my whole thing with Jameis, man. And JP, I'm gonna let you get it after this. My whole thing with Jameis is that people think he makes erratic decisions. I'm like, no, he don't. He just make decisions elite quarterbacks think they should make. He just don't got the accuracy on a consistent basis to be able to pull that shit off. So yeah, sometimes it looks hot. Sometimes it looks bad, brother. Like that last throw that he was trying to get to David Njoku, 100% where he was trying to throw that ball. He was looking dead at him. That did not go anywhere near David Njoku. And that has been Jameis Winston since he has popped up at Florida State. Is it depends on how well he's spinning it, what you get from him that day, and you might get both in the same game.
I think the funniest thing about Jameis is that this style of quarterback would have worked so well in 2009. Jameis would have been the best quarterback in the league in 2008 or something. It's just, and I wrote about it earlier today for work. He's such a dying breed of a quarterback where every throw is downfield. I mean, I think he's second in the NFL in average depth of target. And the only reason he's second is because Anthony Richardson is at like 13 and a half. So he's always throwing the ball downfield. There are no checkdowns. And I think that's partially because only Jameis thinks he can make those throws. Sometimes it works. Like you said, the perfect encapsulation of the Jameis experience was the second pick six. Because the play before, he threaded the needle on like 3rd and 14 on that out.
Oh, you talking about the Elijah Moore tiptoe?
Yeah. Yep. I was like, holy shit, like that's an incredible throw, but it's also a ballsy throw because if you miss to the inside on a field out, that's getting housed. And then the next play, he misses to the inside on a field out, and it gets housed. He only makes throws that only Jameis thinks he can make. Sometimes it'll work, but sometimes it blows up. And I think that that's kind of the appreciation that I have for watching a guy like Jameis play, because he's not going to throw check down. Every throw, we are going to test you downfield. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, screw it. He's a hilarious quarterback to watch.
And I think the underrated part of this, look, he threw 60 passes in that game, and every single one of them was haymakers, right? Like, he don't jab or nothing, right? Like, that's the thing. That's why I'm like, this is why you can't throw Jameis over 40 times, because he won't stop himself. He out here throwing field outs, right? 58th pass of the game, he's throwing a field out. Like, what? And I remember seeing I remember being amazed when Tom Brady did that when he was coming back in the Super Bowl, and I think that was maybe his 48th pass of the game, and I was like, good Lord, how is he doing that? That's incredible. That's incredible cardio. Think about Jameis. He was 60 throws in that game, and he still, every single one of them are haymakers. And I don't think enough people think about like how much that has to wear a quarterback down at the end of the game. And I was just like, he's throwing so many bombs, man. It's only the third quarter. There's no way that he's going to have anything left in the tank by the fourth quarter. And like for me, if we're being practical about Jameis, it's like that's why you need a good run game with him, right? Like you mentioned, like a 2009 quarterback is like, yeah, in 09, they would run that ball, right? Jameis might have only had to get out there and throw the ball 20 times. And maybe he's accurate, maybe he's not, but you can pull the plug on that real quick. But when you out here throwing them 60 because you can't get more than 3 yards a carry, yeah, man, you go get some moments, dog.
I think the funniest thing is I think Jameis is a dying breed at quarterback, but there are still players who kind of play very similarly to Jameis, but have landed in completely different situations where it doesn't matter. For example, I think Jordan Love is awesome. He's great. But you don't want Jordan Love throwing the ball more than 35 times.
Oh, yeah.
The Vikings game earlier this season, he threw the ball 54 times, and he had a 4-touchdown, 3-interception performance like Jameis. He, of course, I think has much more of the – he takes less sacks. He's got more accuracy downfield. But just in that ability to be like, screw it. If I can get the ball downfield, I'm going to, combined with a run game just absolutely crushing teams. I think that's where you kind of find the Jordan Love and Jameis similarities in play style. But it's just hilarious seeing him go out there, especially like you said, when the Browns' run game just wasn't working at all.
Yeah. Again, we 3-8 or whatever it is. I think that thing works with Jameis. We were trying to figure out an audio problem real quick, but I think that works with Jameis. But yeah, I'm nervous about the idea of like, yeah, we gonna roll with Jameis to start the season, but we'll see what they do. Because like, even if they bring in somebody like Sam Darnold, it's not really going to change much, right? Like the same principles apply, because it's not like Sam Darnold, somebody you trust throwing it 60 times. But I will say, I think Jameis is the only person on earth that plays quarterback that is confident enough to not tone down the deep balls. At like the thing about Jameis, he'll throw that interception and he right back ripping that boy. Like,
bro, did you see that after the first pick six?
No, I've been making this point with Jameis. I've been making this point. I'm like, look, man, I made this point on stream when I was watching. I was like, hey, every time Jameis throws a really bad interception, he comes out and gives you the best drive of the season. Like every single time. Because like
70-yard touchdown drive immediately after the
straight rip too. Like just
I promise he did it in less than two. I think he did it in less than a minute and a half.
No, it was like 18 passes. He did it like in 3 minutes or something like that. It was crazy. I'm like, how the fuck did we run that many plays in that little time? Because we were just all hurry up, right? And that last drive at the end of the game, I'm like, for somebody who was 60 passes deep, that shit was incredible that he still had it in him to do it. And this is where I think Ken Dorsey and Jameis Winston also feed into each other in a negative loop. Hey, nobody's going to tell the quarterback to stop. And that dude is definitely not Ken Dorsey. Like,
hey,
Ken Dorsey is famous. Ken Dorsey, like, no, gas that shit up, bro. You heat. Like, oh yeah, fuck it. What you over 40 passes right now? You 50%. We good. Like that is he is the Houston Rockets of throwing the ball. He gonna throw that shit, especially if he get like 2 yards to carry from a running back. Yeah, it's chalk. He ain't even gonna try for the rest of the game. Yeah, let's just throw this bitch.
I do think he also just like he feeds off of that emotions during the game. Like every time you saw him evade a blitzer or evade a sack, he's throwing it 20 yards downfield. Like he's like, oh shit, I got this. I got somebody off me. Oh, I'm throwing this bitch downfield. But that's the funniest part about Jameis is he's gonna make that play and then immediately throw the ball downfield. And you just gotta hope it lands into your team's hands.
Yeah, we're not seeing look, if he comes back, we will definitely see Kevin Stefanski handcuffed to Jameis. Like, no, Jameis, you will not do this. You will throw the ball out of bounds, Jameis, right? Like, that is what you're getting if you bring him back next year. Right now, though, we see an uncut raw Jameis Winston straight on the table because the Ken Dorsey ain't filtering none of it out. He like, yeah. Oh, look, the most dangerous pass with Jameis Winston is play action boot with the post in the middle of the field because he will always throw it. He will always throw it.
Always throw it.
If it's a high-low, he's taking the high.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can't give him over. They have not called that with him yet because they know what it is, right? But that middle post, he gonna throw. Dog, Jerry Jeudy was triple covered. He thought about it. Like it was nuts. Like I was like, oh, good job not throwing it, James, because I knew he was going to throw it once I saw it. But like we are seeing as close to uncut, unfiltered because he has nothing to lose. The Browns have nothing to lose. Honestly, we prefer this because the other dude, like what Jameis Winston had 3 Deshaun Watson games in this one.
Yep.
Like
literally.
No,
Jameis had
3+ because what Deshaun was getting like 150. Like
Jameis had more passing yards on Monday than Deshaun had in like October. like the entire month.
Brother, Jerry Jeudy had way more receiving yards than Deshaun Watson ever had all season. Like honestly, what Jerry Jeudy's receiving yard total would have been Deshaun Watson's third best game as a Brown. I'm not even joking.
No,
I'm dead serious. Yeah, well, he had 235, right? Like,
yep.
Yeah, Deshaun got to 235. I think he got to 297, and that's it.
But I want to put that in perspective for people. This is a man who has not thrown for over 300 yards as a Cleveland Brown. Jameis damn near had 500 yesterday.
And let's keep it real. If Jameis were a slightly better quarterback, he would have had 604 touchdowns because David Njoku was wide open and Jerry Jeudy was wide open. Like,
if we count the interception yards, he had 668. That is the most in NFL history.
Dog, we're like 2 passes away from living in a world where Jameis Winston legitimately has to send that jersey to the Hall of Fame. Like, think about that shit. Think about that. Because what? If he makes the David Njoku throw, which is wide, but booty naked open, and then that wide open Jerry Jeudy cross that he missed, and then, like, I'm not even counting the backside dig he missed. But, like, if we just get 2 of those 3 throws where they're wide open, and he makes that throw there, we're talking about 160 plus yards. Well, no, like almost 200 extra yards. We're talking about what? 2 touchdowns. That would have put him at 6 touchdowns. Almost with 600, 700 yards. Like we're talking about one of the most historic performances on national TV ever to be performed by Jameis Winston in the Cleveland Browns uniform. And we're talking about putting that jersey in Canton. Like your children could see that jersey next to Nick Foles that time he threw 7 touchdowns his second year in Philadelphia. Yes.
So, I also think it's important to realize that when we're talking about Deshaun, how everybody else on the team is so much better without a quarterback. Like 2 of the top 30 receiving performances of all time are by Browns players after Deshaun got out from a season-ending injury. Amari Cooper just had 265 last year with Joe fucking Flacco throwing him the ball.
Dog. Think about this. Deshaun Watson has 1 297-yard game, and then I believe Amari Cooper outgained every other game that he had, and then Jerry Jeudy outgained every other game.
It's almost like they had a quarterback problem. It's almost like as soon as you get rid of the problem, good things start happening.
The wild thing is Jerry Jeudy can legitimately say, I got robbed of like 120 yards in this game.
It's deeper than that, Q. It's deeper than that, Q. Jerry Jeudy probably like, hey, man, I could have had a 1,500-yard season in here.
Andrew Berry got him locked down for like 18 mil over 3. He be fucking looking like a genius.
Bro, that's the best. That'd be the best wide receiver contract in the league. By far.
My
if they start Jameis, at the beginning of the year, we would be like, man, Andrew Berry, Man, he threw off the heist of
That
the
is the one
century.
thing. That is the one thing I will give Jameis though, because he does have this mindset of he'll throw anything. I do think that he's very good for developing your wide receivers, right? Like everywhere Jameis has gone, like wide receivers have been developed. Like
It's good for receivers and offensive linemen because Jameis Winston isn't going to throw a check down, and he's not going to throw the ball away. He's either getting sacked, he's throwing the ball into somebody else's hands, or it is a touchdown. Those are the only three options.
Look, he might be the world's first developmental quarterback. Like, yeah, Jameis ain't in there to win games. Jameis in there so Cedric Tillman could be a 1,000-yard wide receiver, right?
I think we talked about this earlier, but Jameis Winston really might be the best friend in the NFL. He knew Jerry Jeudy was coming back for a revenge game. Just feed him.
No, when he missed Jerry Jeudy on that throw, I was like, he looked so hurt because he knew what he just did. Like,
Hey man, that's why the players, even though they 3-8, that's why they still playing hard. You know why you still play hard? Because Jameis like, hey man, I know this means something to you, so I'm gonna make sure we get it done today.
Also, I like that Jameis is the throwback because like not a lot of quarterbacks have the amount of hubris that Jameis has, but the amount of like humbleness to be like, I'm just throwing this ball to David Njoku in the end zone, right? Like that is his end zone strategy. Is just throw that shit to David, see what happens, right?
Bro, they put the camera on Kevin. They put the camera on Kevin after some of those picks, and he was just like,
Kevin knows what it is, man. Like that's the thing. Kevin's like, all right, man.
He couldn't even it's like he was mad, but at the same time, he's like, hey man, he didn't throw 4 touchdowns.
Bro, you know what? Kevin's absolutely not about to go to Jameis on the iPad and try to correct the interception. He's like, nah. What he would try to correct is like, oh, you missed Jerry Jeudy on the backside dig. Why didn't you throw that, right? That's the only stuff you can really correct with Jameis. But you're like, hey, you got to throw it out of bounds. Well, he done heard that for 13 fucking years. He ain't listened. Okay.
Just even more context for what the Browns receivers have been after Deshaun has gone out of the lineup. There have been 5 performances of over 235 receiving yards this decade. 2 of them are by Browns players after Deshaun left the lineup. The other 3 are 2 times by Jamar and 1 by Tyreek Hill in 2020.
Hey dog, we think there's like so many people in Cleveland like, oh man, Andrew Berry, he doesn't know what he's doing with wide receiver. And I'm like, I feel like he
might. No one has saved Andrew Berry's legacy like Jameis Winston, man.
It ain't even Jameis Winston, Cole. It's a Deshaun Watson's Achilles just for like piecing out in the middle of that seventh game of the season, like piecing out. Because let me tell you something, dog. This could be so many different quarterbacks right now. Like that is the thing with this, because we have literally watched this so many times. Jacoby Brissett, he don't look like nothing in New England when he was out there with Alex Van Pelt. When he was with Kevin, we thought, hey man, there might be something right there, right? Joe Flacco, he gets away from Kevin. It looked like how Joe Flacco was looking in Denver, right? It's like, ugh, that's Joe Flacco. That Joe Flacco in Cleveland, oh yeah, that might be something. It's the same thing with Jameis, dog. You could have inserted who's the worst quarterback you could have inserted into here and you would have been fine with, right? Like maybe Gardner Minshew. Like
I don't think Gardner Minshew's reckless enough.
Yeah.
To work downfield.
It's gotta be somebody who's not scared.
Who's not scared?
You know what? What's the dude who backs up Joe Burrow?
Jake Browning?
Jake Browning?
Yeah, Jake Browning could be replicating this right now.
The Browns might make playoffs if Jake Browning's at quarterback.
Hey, we could be replicating this with Jake. Because like I see so many people crashing out like, we got to sign Joe. I'm like, we have seen this 3 times, brother. This is telling you everything you need to know. The coach is good, okay? The quarterback sucks. And shout out to Nathan Zegura, because I think Cole brought this to my attention. Hey, Nathan Zegura, who works for the Cleveland Browns radio network, which is, by the way, stationed in the Browns training facility, right? Like we're talking about that level of proximity. And he was like, well, it's for 15 years. And he's like, oh, he does the play-by-play too, right? And he was like, well, it's obvious what direction you can't go.
For all the people who said we are pushing an agenda, we are It's like we are biased. We
Hey,
are just making things up.
It is
The
obvious
voice-
to everybody.
The voice of the Cleveland Browns just told us today it's over. He needs to go. It's pretty clear what the problem was.
He
When
didn't
you're
even
watching,
hit us with the he might be able to be a backup. He was like, you
No.
can't go back, which tells me that brother ain't walking in that building no time soon. Like,
Bro.
you gotta walk past the radio station to get to the locker room in Berea. Like, nah, he not worried about no smoke coming back on him.
they
He's
just watched Jameis Winston throw for 500 fucking yards, dog. You can't let Deshaun Watson in. He can't show his face in the city of
Jameis
Cleveland.
Winston, I'm pretty sure Jameis Winston threw more intermediate and deep balls in that one game than Deshaun did the whole season. I don't even think that's exaggeration.
It's not an exaggeration at all.
It's
It's not
not.
exaggeration at all. He's not only doing that, he's also evading pressure, which Troy Aikman said he could beat Jameis in a race.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Like, he might be right.
If the race is longer than 50 yards, I think Troy's got him. Because Jameis can accelerate, but once he gets at top speed, he's done. Like,
Oh yeah.
you can walk down, Jameis.
He's evading pressure at a much better rate than Deshaun ever was, and Deshaun's supposed to be the runner. So if he's not running well, he's not hitting anybody on the intermediate side of the field. It's not even like the only thing you could really say Deshaun was doing that Jameis isn't doing is turn the ball over. But I'd much rather have the turnovers if he's going to throw 5 touchdowns. You know, like you play that game.
Hey, what's the difference from a turnover and a 3 and out?
Either way, that team's the ball.
Especially when you do 3 and outs like 20 times in like 12 games. Like,
What are we talking about,
Didn't
man?
move.
yeah.
Like we thought some of these dudes were bums, bro. Do you understand this? We thought some of these receivers was terrible. They put Jameis in, all of a sudden I'm like, oh,
Jerry
Yeah.
Jeudy had 15% of his career yards come in the 5 games Jameis has played. Like,
I was watching Jerry Jeudy. I'm like, this is what they saw coming out of Alabama.
we
He
saw in
was fucking up Pat Surtain. Like, I was like, they tried. They was on the broadcast. Like, you gotta get Pat Surtain. I'm like, they tried that. Like,
hey, listen, 3 attempts. Hey, they threw 3 passes to Jerry Jeudy when Pastor Tan was covering them. He caught 2 of them, both
Yeah.
first downs.
oh, one of them was nasty too. That comeback to get the
Yeah.
first down. Oh, I was like, oh. I know Pat went just looked down after that one. Like,
Elijah Moore had 111 receiving yards on Monday.
oh yeah.
The last game Deshaun played as a quarterback, he threw for 128.
Oh, Q, you're not on Twitter, so you didn't even see the math that I was doing earlier today.
Oh, I bet it's fantastic.
All right, so I had to look it up just because I was curious. You know what I'm saying? I was curious. I had to look it up. So Elijah Moore, at this point in the season, has 447 receiving yards with the Cleveland Browns. He has 311 receiving yards in the last 5 games with Jameis Winston as the starter. That is 70% of the yards that he has for the year have come.
Yeah,
in the
it's
last 5
almost
games.
like, hey man, if they stuck to the plan, it makes sense that they went out to get Elijah Moore. Like, it's almost like all of this stuff is like, oh, like so much reevaluation of what Andrew Berry has done in these last few weeks. Because also, you look at that 2023 class, you're like, ooh, that's a pretty good class for not having the first and second round pick, right? You got 2 undrafted guys who could start for you. Like, yeah, did his thing. But we was out here thinking Cedric Tillman's booty because he was out there running with the
Even
shot.
area code.
Yeah.
We just had to get the ball in the area.
It's insane, right? Like, hey, look, Jerry Jeudy was out there thanking his lucky stars that Jameis Winston was in it. Could you imagine how frustrated he would have been if he would have did this performance and had 16 yards with Deshaun Watson? Like we're legitimately talking about, like, I think he had 16 yards with Deshaun because Deshaun don't throw none of that shit. Like,
No.
Deshaun throws like 1 curl route to Jerry Jeudy. And he's late.
Also,
And he's late.
for some more math, just to throw it out there, right? Because I think I did it with Jerry Jeudy too. Hold on, let me see.
I'm pretty sure Jerry Jeudy outgained Jerry Jeudy with Deshaun Watson in like what, 2 games? the last 2 games alone?
I'm trying to see.
Because he did have a couple of 70-yard games with Deshaun because he was the only one good at the scramble trip.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. So this is it. So Jerry Jeudy has 880 receiving yards.
Damn.
On the season. Top 5 in the league now. More than George Pickens that people have been pointing out recently in the last 24 hours. But he has 614 yards in the last 5 games, which is also 70% of his receiving yard total.
Hey,
for the season.
I feel so bad for Jerry Jeudy when you read that out because I'm like, he legitimately gets that ball from Jameis and he's like, thank God I got a quarterback though.
He finally has a quarterback. That's the craziest thing about
that man that lived through Drew Lock.
His
Cook
finally
Russ.
quarterback is Jameis Winston.
And that's the moral of this story, right? Because again, I think people are doing this to elevate Jameis, and I need people to understand this isn't even like you went from like an elite quarterback, a bad quarterback, to an elite quarterback. Deshaun Watson is so bad that mediocre Jameis Winston playing a very mediocre Jameis Winston game was enough to make us see God, right? Like that is how bad that Deshaun Watson was. Like, dog, people are like, oh, how you gonna upgrade from Deshaun to offseason? Literally anybody, big dog. Like literally anybody. You could get Daniel Jones. I'm convinced you could get more out of Daniel Jones than you can out of Deshaun Watson at this point.
I actually think that's kind of true.
No, that is, hey,
That's kind of true.
because at least Daniel Jones still athletic.
Yeah.
We saw Daniel Jones against the Browns. He certainly played better than Deshaun in that game. Okay,
Like, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not saying Daniel Jones is good, but if you put Daniel Jones in substitution for Deshaun Watson, we're gonna be sitting here talking about him like we talking about Jameis.
I've seen Daniel Jones to the dig route. I have not seen Deshaun do that in like 2 years.
I ain't seen Deshaun do any of that in an orange helmet since Clemson. Okay, like straight up. Like, yes, you would be a better team with Daniel Jones at quarterback versus Deshaun. Like, there's no argument. I literally went through a list. I'm like, it takes till you get to Trey Lance for me to be like, all right, might as well start Deshaun. like Trey Lance, Hendon Hooker, right? Like, and I'm still like, hey, maybe Hendon got it. Like, DTR.
Hey, you know, Trey Lance doesn't have the reps.
Brother, I hate Gardner Minshew, and I was like, yeah, I'd rather do that.
Hey, you know what? Aiden O'Connell would cook in this offense. You know exactly what Aiden O'Connell's going to do.
Hey, like, it's to the point where I'm like, if you gave me Desmond Ridder and Deshaun Watson, I would have to think about it.
Oh man, I know how you feel about Desmond Ridder too. I
think Desmond Ridder might be the worst quarterback to ever play in the college football playoff, man. Like, I'm not even joking. He's so bad. And I would think about it. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe the offense is better because you just don't focus on the quarterback position as much. like,
hey man, I'm not gonna lie to you. Sign Jameis to that 1+1, man. Let's roll. Let's roll for 2025. Sign him to that 1+1 real quick.
I do wonder what the interest is going to be for somebody like Sam Darnold, because there's no way Sam Darnold's looking at this and being like if you're Sam Darnold, right, and you're looking at your landing spots, and you're like, right now it's like the New York Giants. I think the Raiders are probably keying in on Shador, right? And then who else? The Titans, and then there's the Browns. Like the Jets, maybe they're available, but do you want to go back to the Jets, especially this version of the Jets? So if I'm Sam Darnold, I'm like, man, Kevin Stefanski feels like the right fit for me, right? You go from Minnesota to Kevin. That's a seamless fit. They run the same shit. And then you think to yourself, okay, Jameis is doing well. I'm about as good as Jameis, if not better, and I'm younger. Yeah, that might work. Like, I wonder what that deal could look like for him. But I also think somebody might like lose their mind and give him crazy money. But if it stays within a reasonable range, like, what do you think the range for Sam Darnold this offseason is going to be, given what the market looks like free agent wise? Because there's not a ton of teams looking for quarterback.
There's not a lot of teams looking for quarterback, and I think the teams that are desperately looking for one are also in the top part of the draft.
Yeah.
But if you look at this draft class, you could realistically go, hey, this guy might need a year, you know, to kind of sit. So if you still want to remain competitive while letting the rookie get some development, get some time to sit on the bench, that might be the perfect spot for Sam Darnold. I honestly kind of think the Giants would make a lot of sense, especially because the Giants are not in Shador range, but they are in the Cam Ward area. And I still think Cam Ward needs like a year to kind of just like adjust to the speed of the NFL. But I think the funniest thing that I thought of watching that game is imagine Kyle Shanahan coaching Jameis Winston.
He would lose his mind.
I think Kyle Shanahan would rip every single one of his hairs out. for a guy who wants the offense to be so regimented, I'll go from 1 to 2 to 3. Jameis is going to go from 1 to 4 to 2 then to 5, and Kyle's just be like, okay, I can't do this anymore.
JB, we watched Kyle Shanahan coach Johnny Manziel. We know exactly how he remember he got so fed up with this situation that he started calling like the wackiest trick plays of all time just to make sure Johnny studied them. Like, because he was like, if I just call regular stuff, he's gonna act like he knows. Like I gotta call these trick plays because it's only stuff he knows.
The quarterback market is weird going into this offseason, which is why I think the Browns should re-sign Jameis and just get him on that 1+1.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is the bridge moment. You are going to be the bridge to whatever we do next. If it ends up like a Minnesota situation where Sam Darnold has been balling out, team's great, they are in position to make the playoffs, that's fine. But if it doesn't work, we have the rookie already. We can just move on when we need to.
The only thing with Jameis is on paper, that makes a ton of sense. I will contend. Look, man, that personality hits different depending on your record, right? Like, depending on the situation you in, and depending on how much of your record you can blame on Jameis Winston. And the thing is, if you go 6 wins with Sam Darnold, I don't got to worry about no implosion happening because people are that tired of it. But you go 6 wins with Jameis, it's on the table. Like, you might get a revolution in your locker room because this shit not going to hit well in October when he's doing this, right? Like, and he's going to do some of this in October, especially if you don't have a sufficient run game. That's why I think they're probably like, if you're Kevin, he could probably see that because Kevin don't like this either, right? Like, there was stories about how the Browns were trying desperately to get DTR ready because they didn't want to go to Jameis because they kind of knew what the Jameis experience was going to be. It was going to be erratic. Yeah, I wonder if that influences them to go, we know what we could be successful with. And if we could get Sam Darnold for like Kirk Cousins, if you traded for him, which is like the other move I heard people suggest, but he's throwing too many interceptions for somebody his age. So like, that's a huge red flag to me. But it would be 28 million, right? Like, so if you could get Sam for like 18, I think they would consider it over 2, but that's a hell of a commitment to Sam Darnold. Like,
that is a
in
lot
the quarterback position. Like, yeah. So it depends. The thing is, too, it might just end up that nobody wants a quarterback this offseason, and then they just don't do anything about it. And then you get Sam Darnold for like 6.5 with like 10 mil with $4 million in incentives to make it like a 1-year 10 deal.
Yeah, like right now, there's like a huge gap between like the mid-level starter and Geno Smith. Geno Smith is making $25 million a year. The next one is Gardner Minshew at 12.5. So I think like Sam right now is at like 10. So if you can get if you get Jameis around the Sam Darnold this year, or Sam Darnold at around like 16, I think that'd be fine. But you can't go into the 20s for either of those guys. If you're going into the 20s,
go into Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield territory. That's not. No. We need he's not young enough too. Like, if he was doing this at 25, I think people would have been more for it. But like at 27, I don't know if the market's gonna be crazy for him. But it's gonna be interesting to see. But Jameis Winston, a fascinating topic to talk about. Curtis, we got some ain't no way all-stars, man. Let's talk about this wacky world of football this weekend.
We got to talk about that Black Friday game with Antonio Pierce. No, better yet, let's talk about the Thursday Thanksgiving game with Matt Eberflus.
I could not believe what had happened. And that was one of those things where like everybody's like, hey, call timeout. right? And then they run a play, and you're like, okay, they ran a play. There's like 30 seconds left on the clock, so you're like, okay, they throw it out of bounds. Like, it ain't that big of a deal. I guess they're trying to get like a quick 2 in, right? So they don't have to spike the ball. No. they run the longest play possible.
It got to the point where everybody was like, call timeout. Call timeout. Call timeout. Like, everybody is
how does that happen, JP? And there's not one dude on the sidelines go, like, this is instinctual.
Well, the problem is that one guy is supposed to be the head coach.
He was just standing there the
he
whole
was just trying
time.
to manage the game. He's sitting over there.
Tempo. Like,
He's sitting over there, not even paying attention to the game. And the game ends. You don't even get a good shot at a field goal when you need one. I think it was either the tie or win the game.
No, they were down 2. They were down 2, JP. They were down 2.
And all you had to do, like, there. So I think Eberflus's idea was you run a play quick, you get down, and you call timeout, and you save time for the field goal. But the problem is, if you call a long developing play like you did
with a rookie quarterback who's known for extending plays,
you're just watching your rookie quarterback waste time. At some point, you have to step in.
Yes,
that's my biggest thing. Like, that plan is good and all, but eventually you have to be able to step in and call timeout when you need to. That is your job as the head coach. Because Caleb Williams, of course, he has had ups and downs. He is a rookie quarterback. He has never been in this situation before. But you're the one who's supposed to be the game managing guy, and you completely failed at managing the game for, I think, like the 4th week in a row. So, like this isn't like a first-time thing. This was like the last 5 games for the Bears, where they just completely fucked the game up.
I don't know, too, like, how you, like, because if you're a coach in that situation, you have a young quarterback, you would want to call the timeout just to communicate, okay, this is what we're doing to Caleb Williams. Be like, it's got to be quick. Do not get out the pocket. If it's not there in structure, get rid of the ball. It is what we only got so much time to just communicate. Hey, this is what we like. If you watch the UFL, they do this all the time, right? Where they'll call a timeout and it is just Skip Holtz just drilling situations into the quarterback saying, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're not going to do, right? And like making sure it's in. Allowing that drive to continue in that situation in the field, even if it wasn't 26 seconds left, it's like, it's kind of crazy, right? Like, you got to stop just to talk to the dude to let him know what the situation is, especially if you don't feel like you're getting it in through the headset well, because you're on the road. So I don't understand any of the thought process that went in there, because like I get like the strategy of it, but like that's something you do if you just got trust. It's Big Ben out there and you done did this 30 times with him. You ain't got to call no timeout to tell Ben what to do in this situation.
You have to know at that point, if you get sacked like Caleb Williams did, first of all, the second down play was an RPO where you have a QB draw and a screen tagged with it. What are you doing? There's 30 seconds left in the game. Why are you calling a QB draw? So that messes up. Caleb Williams gets sacked. You lose 6 yards. At that point, if you're not going to use a timeout, you just need to get some of those yards back. You need to do a quick pass. Like, a lot of teams will just go all slants. Everybody goes straight towards the middle of the field, catch the ball, get down. Because at that point, it's 3rd and 26.
Literally what Keenan Allen's there for, right?
Yeah, that's what Keenan Allen does. Yeah. So at that point, just call the timeout. If you don't have anything, you had it. And now you got fired with 1 timeout left in your pocket.
I've never seen somebody like come this close to having such a huge win at such a huge stage that it might save their job that should have obviously been gone, to like immediately after the game, I was like, well, he's fired. Like, that's it. Like, there was no mystery. I think the first thing I tweeted was, well, the Bears are firing the coach. Like, there was the most obvious, like, oh yeah, you just lost. Like, he had to know once he looked up at the clock and saw 3 zeros. It was like, oh yeah, let's pack. It's done.
Funniest thing is, all the players after the game were like, me personally, I would have called a timeout. That's not up to me though.
Everybody on the sideline I was like, time out. Like, it's one of those things where like it probably starts out quiet on the sideline where like people are like, hey, why we ain't calling timeout? And then somebody goes, hey, timeout. And then it's somebody screaming behind Matt Eberflus, like begging this man to call a timeout. And he's like, go back to something. I'm about to lose my job. Watch out. Watch me cook.
Like DJ Moore after the game said, I think we should have used a timeout. Oh, Keenan Allen said after the game, I think we should have used timeout. Cole Kmet was like, I don't know why we didn't use timeout. If everybody on the team is saying you should have used timeouts and you didn't, you know beyond losing the locker room, you, like you said, lost your job at that point. Like it was
there's no justification for you keeping your job at that point. Also, I would like to mention DJ Moore. Nobody's been through more bullshit than him. Nobody has been through more bullshit than him. No. Dog, he had Matt Rule. Like bad Baker Mayfield, like the version of Baker Mayfield we all forgot about. Like, I remember one time PJ Walker came into the game, he was thanking God. Like that's how down bad it was for DJ Moore in Carolina. Then he gets traded to the Bears, and they are an absolute mess. Like an absolute.
He played in Maryland. He wasn't going through a lot of good QB play.
Well, who's his quarterback, man? Was it DJ?
Let me see the DJ.
Or was it Talia? The other two?
No, it wasn't Talia.
You call him the other two?
The other two.
I mean, one's a starting NFL quarterback. The other one, I believe, is in Canada. What else? What is the appropriate surname?
So, for context for people, 2017 Maryland was coached by DJ Durkin.
Oh no, the dude who killed a man.
Yeah.
What?
You ain't nobody. He practiced.
You
a kid
know
to
about
death.
that?
What?
Yeah, he there was a huge thing that happened. I think it was 2017 where they were doing cardio and a player collapsed during cardio and DJ Durkin just like
didn't like send him to the
Didn't
hospital.
care.
Like just like get some shade.
So DJ Moore's quarterback at
was he there with Stephon Diggs?
His quarterback was Terrell Pigrome, who would then transfer to Western Kentucky.
Mm.
He also Max Bortenschlager,
Ooh.
who completed 51% of his passes.
I'm about to say I haven't even heard of him in the Canadian circuit.
Kasim Hill threw 21 passes. Ryan
These
Brand
are
threw 21
employees
passes.
that you are naming right now, JP.
These are it's getting rough.
These are people who are doing all they can be with their college degree. Like
the year before, Perry Hills was starting quarterback.
it sounds local.
Yeah, that was his last 2 years at Maryland. So he has not had a good quarterback until he got to Chicago.
And then he's so tired of it because he's old and that's a rookie. And then it'd be driving him crazy. Because I remember one time I watched him and it was like they had to take him out the game. He was so fed up with Caleb Williams. Like, poor DJ Moore, man. Like, he's such a good player, man. Like, if he gets drafted to the right spot, he's probably like one of the best receivers in the league. But like, he keeps getting sent to these very dysfunctional places, and then being a part of these very memorable losses. Remember that time that like they blamed him for that loss in Atlanta because he celebrated, and then it cost the Younghoe Koo missed the extra point, and they blamed that shit on him.
Oh man.
It's incredible how DJ Moore's career has shaken out. Like I can't think of a more unfortunate player that did not deserve the unfortunate circumstances that he has had here. But yes, this works back to Matt Eberflus.
Back to Matt Eberflus being just the worst.
Ain't no way.
Worst
Curtis,
head coach.
when you saw that situation, like, were you thinking the same thing I was? Where I was like, this is the most fireable offense of all time, like on television.
It was like, because I was watching it with family and everybody was screaming, call a timeout, call a timeout. And my uncle was in the back screaming, why the hell isn't he calling a timeout? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. So I'm just sitting there like, I would fire him on the spot, like instantly after the game is over. Like, don't even come to the locker room. Just
the Bears owner was in that box calling timeout, probably.
You know it's bad because not only did he not call a timeout, he doubled down after the game. It's like, yeah, I would have done it the same way. And it's like,
you gotta go.
Like, at that point, it's like, all right, man. I think
all right, you gotta go. Like, enough.
I mean,
like,
at that point, he probably knew.
I was so pissed about it because that's the biggest issue I have with Eberflus. He'll dumb down on his dumb decisions, and he act like, "Oh, you would have done." I'm like, hell no, I wouldn't have done it. Like,
nobody would have done that, bro. And shout out to our boss Ricky. Because I know he was somewhere just like, oh my, just swearing and cussing up a storm wherever he was at.
I hope he did not watch that game. I really hope he didn't.
Curtis,
I hope he was just having the time of his life.
Curtis, you telling me Matt Eberflus, the one dude that be like, yeah, man, you ain't never done, and then the thing he names is something you have never even thought of.
Never even considered doing.
Like, what is on your mind? Y'all acting like y'all don't do that? Yeah.
No, we don't do that, sir. What are you talking about?
No, it's funny. I work with someone who's the same way.
Like, y'all ain't never licked a basketball? No, dog. Like, what? Who's ever been tempted to do that? Like, yeah, that's Matt Eberflus, huh? He just out here like, what you telling me you would have called timeout? Like, that's what he like in the press conference. Everybody in the world was calling timeout, dog. It was people who didn't even know what was going on. I was like, it feels like they should have called a timeout there.
The timeline is never united, but they were united in the fact they should have called timeout.
At this moment in our country, that was the one thing we all agreed on. Was call a goddamn timeout right there. Right? Like, he ain't call that timeout. That's amazing to me. That, and then he had the goal to double down on it, which is like, what was he, an offensive coordinator? Was that his thing?
No,
he was a defensive coordinator.
Oh my god, that's even more unforgivable, dog. Like, that's so unforgivable. You supposed to be the man that knows what he's doing, right? Like, the defensive coordinator is supposed to be the calm voice in the room, right? The conservative voice in the room. You out here not asking for that timeout? Like, who else was on that headset though? Like, that's what I gotta figure out. Like, there's no way that headset was just like not overflowed with, hey man, coach, you want to call a timeout? Like, coach, what you think about timeout here?
I would be like, hey, you should call timeout. Like, call timeout. After the third time I say call timeout, I'm turning the headset off. I'm not getting blamed for this. I'm gonna let the record show I called timeout. I said to call timeout.
I wish Keenan Allen would have gave us one of the fun vet moments, which is, fuck it, I'm calling the timeout.
He just goes to the ref like,
yeah. Or if they don't want to give you it, fall down, right? Like,
somebody think
we calling timeout. Look, nobody is better than this. Than ironically, the man on the other side of the field at that time is Darius Smith. He's missed to get my timeout right now. Okay, like,
DeAndre Swift need to take one for the team.
Yeah.
Just fall down.
Yeah, no, Zadarius Smith, he was famous for this in Cleveland. The Browns win it by like 21, JP. Zadarius on the ground. He getting out the game. Like, it's the fourth quarter. It's 9 minutes left. Hey, Isaiah McGuire, you got this. Like,
it's the most egregious thing ever because he would literally just
he
fall
would be
down,
laughing
like
on the ground, getting helped up by two trainers. Like,
that's the oldest shit I've ever heard, man. I think you just fall because you just want to get out of the game.
Yeah,
he would literally walk to the sideline, and then the cameras on him, and you just see him.
He'd be like, "I know y'all gonna get out the game." Like, swear to God, he did this like 5 times at the end of the season last year. God, he's gonna do it in Detroit. Like, we're gonna see this. Like, if Detroit like blows out their first round opponent, you're gonna see Zadarius Smith giggling his ass off, getting off the field with like 8 minutes left. Right? Like, you going into the blue tent?
Done. I am clocking out.
He's like, all right, boys, gotta make sure I can make it to round 2. Like,
it has hit 5 o'clock.
Yeah. And let the young man get experience behind me. Like he ain't worried about that man taking his job. They traded for me. Like, so he don't play.
That's like in college football 25, you mass sub backups like in the middle of the drive. It's just everybody just falling down. Like, all right, everybody sub out.
Yep, time to call timeout, right? All right, who's our next Ain't No Way All-Star?
The second Ain't No Way All-Star, Antonio Pierce.
He's an Ain't No Way Hall of Famer. Okay, ain't no way he got that job. Ain't no way he said he built it around Robert Spillane. Like
the entire Devontae Adams trade saga. Just ain't no way. You like the Instagram post saying he should be traded? You're a football coach. Why you got Instagram?
Yeah, because he a position coach at heart. And he out there talking like a position coach, JP. If he don't want to be here, like then fine. Like he is such a position coach. Like it's like what with Dan Campbell, where every time you look at him, you're like, I know you did straight for conditioning, right? Him and Ann Orgeron are the most straight for conditioning background coaches of all time. And it's like, you know how they feel about these player disputes. If you don't want to go, walk. That's why LSU lost like 80% of their roster to the portal that one year. Like, so you know Antonio Pierce was like, I don't give who it is, man. I get another Devontae Adams, like just talking crazy. And he a linebacker coach. Only thing that would have been more unhinged if they gave that job to a running back coach. Okay, like running back coach don't even think they're gonna get a promotion. Like,
well, like who are you going to promote from that coaching staff if Antonio Pierce does end up getting fired? Because if you look at the coaching staff, it would have been the greatest coaching staff of like 2008. Because Marvin Lewis is the assistant head coach.
Oh, there it is. There we go.
Bring him back out. Hey, look, nobody has been willing to work for cheap organizations more than Marvin Lewis, right?
The interim offensive line coach, Joe Philbin.
Yeah.
Scott Turner is the offensive coordinator, and it was later brought on Norv Turner, senior offensive advisor. You know, we're just bringing back all the legends. I think Tom Coughlin.
Now that's what I call offensive coordinators 2010.
Tom Coughlin also worked as like an advisor. Rob Ryan is the senior defensive assistant.
Rob
Ryan is on this staff. Yes.
Dog, are they about to hire? Are they about to hire? Who I think they about to hire? Are they about to go or get up and get a coach? Like,
Rob gonna call in a favor from Rex.
Yeah, we need that energy.
Hey, isn't Tom Brady a minority owner in the?
He's a minority owner.
Yep, minority owner.
Oh, he gonna put in that good word for Rex. You can already tell. But listen,
hey, nobody was harder to game plan against than Rex. Oh yeah, it's cooked. Because Mark Davis ain't hard to fool. Like he almost hired Hugh Jackson until somebody told him that wasn't a good idea. Like, by the way, Marvin Lewis has carved out a niche of the dude you hire when you got to deal with low finances in your organization. That is what his job is. He advises you on not having that much money. Like,
they had Tom Coughlin working as a consultant for the Raiders this season. It's just like this would be amazing if it was like 2007.
Brother, wasn't Tom Coughlin ran off the Jaguars for being too old school like 10 years ago?
The one who ran off Jalen Ramsey.
Wait. Tom Coughlin's the reason y'all hired Urban Meyer.
No, he's not the reason we hired Urban Meyer. He's the reason Jalen Ramsey left.
Okay.
He's the reason Yannick Ngakoue left. He said he didn't want to re-sign Calais Campbell.
Calais Campbell's still good.
The destruction of that defense in 2017 all goes back to Tom Coughlin. Like the best thing about the Jaguars since maybe like 2011.
Hey man,
he is the reason for the destruction of it.
Hey man, Eli winning those two Super Bowls was the worst thing that ever happened for the Hall of Fame because now they gotta let him and Eli in. Like that's crazy. Like in a timeline that makes sense, those two Super Bowls do not happen, and we're not out here like, yeah, Eli Manning, Hall of Famer, even though nobody was thinking that when he was playing. Like,
listen, man, it's what happens when you win. When you win,
Hey,
things like that happen.
in a just world, we're like, man, I think the Chargers are glad that Eli didn't want to play there because Phillip Rivers was clearly the better player, right? Like, but Eli got them 2 damn championships, and people act like, nah, it's actually good.
Eli got to go through the NFC, and Phillip Rivers had to play Tom Brady on a torn ACL.
That's tough.
Like, hey, shit happens.
Hey, man, Phillip Rivers, remember the 1 year? First defense, first offense, 30-second special teams, no playoffs. Like, it's tough being Phillip Rivers, man.
Like, that's great. Like, you can't even say, like, you can do anything better or worse. It's just like, shit happens.
He's like, hey, bro, I tried my best.
Like, I tried.
Let's go to our third 808 All-Star nominee.
The third one, last but not least. Ryan Day.
Ain't shit funny. Ain't
Hey,
shit funny.
it's hilarious when it ain't you.
Ain't shit about this shit funny.
I gotta tell you, man, this is so fucking funny.
This is hilarious. What do you mean? This is the
not funny at
funniest
all.
shit of this segment. Like,
They came in as 20.5-point favorites.
And they
23.
lost.
at home.
23.5-point favorites at home and lost. I can't fucking stand Ryan. Fire this fucking dude today, dog.
James Warren threw for 62 yards and won the football game. And it's not even like they ran the ball well. They averaged 4 yards a carry. They did just enough every single time.
They won off 13 points. Like,
13-10. You scored 10 points with that fucking roster. Please get this dude out of here, dog. He sucks. He is not.
Ain't he supposed to be an offensive guru? Right?
Hey,
Like,
offensive guru my ass. He sucks.
I
This dude
genuinely,
outta here.
I genuinely think Jim Harbaugh did something to Ryan Day's brain when he made that third base comment. Because now every time they play Michigan, it's like, oh, well, I have to out physical Michigan, even though that's Michigan's thing.
No, you
Like, what are you
don't.
doing?
No, you don't, you fucking idiot. You don't try to out physical the more physical team. You ran the football up the middle against 2 first-round fucking picks. What are you doing?
Will Johnson didn't play. You didn't even have to say, like, we had to throw it. We had to run it because
I know Chip Kelly was in that booth like, yeah, bro, I guess I'm going to call another run. Like, this what coach
You ran directly at a player who is going to go top 5 in the fucking draft and another dude who's going to go in the bottom of the first round. You're like, hey,
I think I brought this up to Cole, but like, you know
not
how
only
cold
that.
you got to be to be.
Not only that.
with
but
a hurt
you did
offensive line.
Yes, you did it with a backup offensive line. Like,
Your
what
left
about that
tackle-
game plan made sense?
Your left tackle is your left guard, who's actually really good at left guard, but he's playing left tackle because everybody's fucking hurt. And you decided, you know what? I'm going to run Quinshawn, whatever his fucking last. I'm so angry. I can't even remember
Jukins.
his names right now.
Jukins.
And Travion Henderson. I'm going to run them right up the middle at these two dudes with all these backup offensive linemen, and we're going to win. And you scored 10 fucking points, even though you got Jeremiah Smith on the outside. And they're not playing Will Johnson, and nobody can fucking check him. And he got how many targets in the second half? 1.
He got 1. I thought he had 2.
No, he only got 1.
1 target in the second half.
Un target.
One
He got
target.
target.
Not only that, because we haven't even talked about the funniest part of that game. 2 things. Punting on 4th and 1. I know it was on Ohio State's 29-yard line, but with the insistence on running the ball, if you decide to punt in that situation, what the fuck are you here for?
Brother. Also, like, Michigan had no offense in that game. So,
They
like,
didn't.
what are you worried about? Like,
Michigan don't have offense, period.
they have no wide receivers you can name, and their best quarterback is the dude they bench 3 games into the season. Like,
Not only that, but then the 12 man on the field penalty coming out of a timeout.
The 12 man on the field stopped him from getting a delay of game because he called 2 timeouts back to back.
That is a fireable offense. And they're not going to do it because they're going into the playoff, but that is a fireable offense. Yeah, you forget the rules.
Let me tell you something. You know how you forget the rules? You know how you forget the rules? Because every time you play Michigan, you just bitch up every single time, bro.
I'm telling
he
you.
is a bitch. I'm
It
sorry.
is one
He
thing when it was like
psychological damage.
it was one thing when it was Khaki Pants Hardball on the other side, right? And it's like, oh, he's accomplished and he's got that aura about him. Okay, I can understand how as a young coach that might throw you off the size of the Michigan rivalry and all that. Brother, that's Sharon Moore. On the
Moore. He about to get fired.
That's Mr. I'm gonna take the plea for you, dog. Like he took the charge for his homeboy. That's the only reason he there. Like
and you lost to him twice, bro. You lost to him twice.
and he done stood on your field and cried real tears 2 times. It's nuts.
Man, you cannot, if you care about Ohio State football, you cannot bring Ryan Day back. You can't bring it back, bro.
Hey, dog. And the worst thing about the playoff era is he might win 2 playoff games, and that might be enough for people to be like, nah.
He's not winning 2 playoff games. I don't think
no
Ohio
way.
State's winning.
Well, you gonna play Tennessee, and then maybe Boise?
Look, if they got to play Tennessee in Knoxville, a big game where Ryan Day has to make coaching decisions to help them win within the margins, I think I would take almost every other coach in the playoff before Ryan Day when it comes to making those decisions.
So
And
you
I
tell
think
me
how many big games has Ryan Day won? How many big games has Ryan Day won?
He won the one game in the pandemic, right? To get to the national championship, Clemson.
That was a pandemic game.
Hey, I'm with you. I think he stinks too. I think the thing that's like crazy about it right now is like how wildly unqualified the coach at Ohio State and Michigan are for these posts. Like if you look into Ryan Day's experience, it's like what in the world made him? Because I hear these arguments from people who want to keep Ryan Day, and they're like, well, there's nobody available that's better than Ryan Day. And I'm like, Ryan Day is the bare minimum of what you can achieve at what Ohio State is right now.
Also, you're Ohio State. Throw money at somebody until they say no.
Yeah,
that's what.
Try to get Nick. You doing anything? Bill Belichick, you want to coach college football? I couldn't see him.
Hell no. He don't want to coach no college football. He ain't trying to coach no kids, man. Fuck that. Absolutely not.
Yeah, Bill ain't trying to work with nobody's kids, dog. Bill don't like the fact that like all the young players were born in the 90s. Like Bill ain't trying to deal with these 2000 babies.
That's crazy.
Well, I'm so sick of these fucking people. I'm sorry. I'm so sick of these fucking people talking about we gotta keep Ryan Day. Look at his right. He's 10-2. You want to fire? Yeah, I want to fucking fire him. He lost to Oregon and he lost to Michigan, the 2 biggest games of the year. I don't give a fuck if he beats Purdue and Indiana. I don't give a shit about that.
And also, like Ohio State fans, why are we acting like these are like NFL records where you're like, oh, he's a 10-win coach? It's like, no. That's impressive for Kevin Stefanski. But
for Kevin Stefanski, that's great.
10, he's 10-2. You expect to be undefeated at Ohio State, and you have 2 losses. That is a disappointment.
All of that goes out the window when you look at the bigger picture, because since he's been there, he hasn't won a Big Ten title aside from the COVID year. He hasn't won a national championship, and he's kind of underachieved with the talent that he's got. So, yeah.
Kind of?
He has.
They had the most talented roster in college football this year, and at best have maybe looked like the second best team in football.
Brother, he's about to make sure people get some value picks, okay? Because of how he's going. CJ Stroud went, second in the draft? That was all Ryan Day. Like, looking back at it, I'm like, man, this was all right. The same way when I look at Pat Mahomes going like 10th or whatever he went in the draft that year, I'm like, oh, that's all Cliff Kingsbury. that had nothing to do with Pat Mahomes.
It's insane how much that class with like Jack Sawyer, with Travion Henderson, and Emeka Egbuka, who were highly regarded, one of the best recruiting classes, I think, in the country. It might have been best in the country. They haven't won a game against Michigan. Like they are 0-4.
0-4. 0-4.
And largely it's because of the coach's fault.
Yeah,
you know
this
how we
one,
talk about them now. You know how we talk about them now, even like as draft prospects now. You know, do you understand how they're being discussed?
I heard
And-
Emeka Egbuka fall to the second round. Like,
I see Jack Sawyer go second round in the mock. I said, why the fuck he going second round? For what?
Should've went to Iowa.
But like the biggest thing about the Ohio State Michigan game was not only did you lose the game, you also lost the fight. And during the fight, Ryan Day just looking around like, what's going on? Like, hey, what's happening here?
How can you play for?
What's going on?
How can you play for a man like that, man? How can you play for a man like that? I'm sorry.
All this shit was so predictable. Like, I don't know when it was, but I remember realizing really early that this man was a herb. I'm like, oh, no, this dude ain't got it. Like, I don't know. It was just something about how he was carrying himself. I'm like, nah, this dude's lame. Like, I think the year he lost to Michigan, it was like, well, we play Georgia. And I'm like, oh, this is lame. Like, oh, you don't care.
You don't even get it. You don't even get it.
Oh,
you don't even get it.
Now you got the fan base talk about it don't really matter if we beat Michigan no more. I'm like, what happened to the game I love?
They almost beat Georgia.
What happened to
That's all that matters. They almost beat Georgia.
Didn't even beat them.
Georgia.
Didn't even beat them.
In hindsight, being 2020, you were a much more talented team than that Georgia team was.
Like last year, that Georgia team they played in the playoff with C.J. Stroud and Marvin Harrison Jr. going insane. They probably should have won that game.
But what they do in the fourth quarter, they threw it to Marvin Harrison Jr. one time.
If Urban Meyer is the head coach in that game, no doubt in my mind they win that game.
Brother, and this goes back to the Jameis conversation. We out here like, damn, man, if somebody competent like Urban Meyer was in there, what could we achieve? That's the thing about college. You don't even have to be that good of a football coach.
Urban Meyer teams won't lose the fight.
I guarantee you they wouldn't have lost the fight.
They wouldn't have lost the fight
By any means necessary.
They gonna be damn sure that flag not gonna get planted.
Hey, that flag going in the locker room and hanging up on somebody's apartment. Okay? Like, ain't no way that little team assistant get that flag back. Okay?
Stop's not gonna need pepper spray. You don't even need them on the field.
To be fair to Ryan Day, the last time this did happen, Baker Mayfield did successfully plant the flag.
That's the thing.
But he waited until the field was cleared.
You let Baker Mayfield plant the flag, man. Yeah. If Baker Mayfield can plant a flag on your home turf, anybody can.
And I don't blame Michigan for trying to plant that flag either. I've seen people like get all up in arms. I'm like, hey, bro, you 6-5 and you beat a 10-1 team, especially if it's your rival for the fourth time in a row. We fucking own you. Plant. Okay. Like, yeah. Oh.
As much shit gets talked about this game for 364 days,
you gotta.
Yeah, I'm gonna plant a flag.
I had a conversation with somebody I'm very close to, and it just infuriated me that he was thinking this sucker nonsense. He was like, hey man, Ryan Day doesn't have a big game problem. He just got a Michigan problem. I'm like, brother, there's a clock in the locker room that counts down to the fucking game. How is that not a big game? Like, you put stuff in the game plan every week for Michigan. Like, what are you talking about? This tells me how you prepare for the big game. And he prepares awfully. I've never seen Ohio State play Michigan under Ryan Day and thought, hey, man, both teams played well. Just the better team won.
No,
like,
no. It's always
like, yo, Ryan Day called a screen on 4th and 3.
Or like the most inexplicable punt on 4th and 1 at like midfield.
He's a coward.
He's trying to squeeze a punt. Like,
he's a coward, bro. He's a coward, dog. And the team reflects him when you watch them play Michigan. Like, they play scared, they play timid, and this is all Michigan does the entire game. Hey, we about to hit these motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck what's going on.
There's one thing Michigan is gonna do. It is we don't like them, so we're gonna hit them really hard.
I'm about to punch these dudes in their fucking face.
Michigan linebackers every time they hit Ohio State player, like, I smell in here. Like,
I guarantee you they'd be like, it's like bitch in here. What's going on?
Yeah, yeah. Like, it don't take much to get going. I bet they get that one TFL and then yeah. And then you just Ohio State fans like, oh, it's about to happen. Like, hey guys, they're doing it again. Like,
Oh no, what are we gonna do? I hate this fucking team. I hate Ryan Day so much.
there's no way Ohio State fan can be proud of this team, dog. Like, even if they win a national championship, are you proud of these motherfuckers? Like,
No.
there's no pride here, dog. They folded to an injured Michigan team, and then we out here giving up. We ain't even giving our best try excuse against Michigan at
Not
home.
even an injured Michigan team, a bad Michigan team. That team sucks.
A quarterbackless Michigan team.
They were running the triple option.
They had to
Michigan
bring Alec
team.
Orgy in to spark the offense.
A Michigan team that lost to Indiana.
Yeah.
Who you just beat the week before.
You beat them down. And then, like, I hate this argument from Ohio State fans. Like, it's not a big game. I saw how y'all was acting before the game. That was excitement. Did you see the kickoff and everything?
You don't get to act one way, and then after you lose, say it's not a big game.
Yeah, y'all was celebrating. It's gonna finally be our year. We gonna set the table right with Michigan. Y'all little fairy tale run was over, and then y'all just found out. Nah, dog, y'all gonna be losers. Like,
and now Michigan can say that they didn't need to cheat to beat y'all. They didn't need to,
guys, we didn't cheat this time.
Gus Johnson was like, they didn't need to cheat this time. You lost every single ounce of credibility off of that. You could have said, "Oh well, they cheated last year. You know, they were stealing our signs." They didn't need them this year.
This is the point I've always contended with people talking about them sign stealers. I'm like, what about Ryan Day's offense tells you need to steal signs to know what's coming? Like I've always contended. I'm like, he was doing too much. He was honestly wasting resources trying to steal them signs. We know what Ryan Day about to do. I was at Cole's birthday party. I looked down at somebody's phone and we're watching Ohio State, Oregon, and I remember being like, hey, this about to be a screen right here. And what they throw, screen right there. I'm like, yeah, this is what he does. Like, I don't even watch Ohio State like that, right? Like, I'm not every week watch Ohio State guy. I've watched them like 5 times. I'm like, yeah, I know what they're gonna do every play. They're so predictable.
Terrible game planning and terrible game management. It's what lost them the Oregon game. Terrible game plan and terrible game management. It's a thing that keeps happening.
How do these 2 losses not make somebody lose their job when I'm like, he's demonstrated that he has nothing of value that he brings to the table?
Nothing. He sucks.
Like,
he's a
that
bad
is the
head
thing
coach.
that I struggle to find. Like, I get that people aren't like Mike Vrabel's not like, go save your program, but like Mike Vrabel's probably better of a coach than Ryan Day because Ryan Day is not good at anything. Like, what is his standout trait? What does Ryan Day is a quarterback's coach who was going to be a quarterback's coach for people he was friends with in the NFL. That is his elite trait. He a good friend. Like, he's gotten promoted through that, but he's never been a special mind offensively. He's never done anything special. Well, he was the offensive coordinator for the 2017 Ohio State team. That's not even the one that won a national championship. Like, what has he done that has been a reasonable accomplishment to get the job at Ohio State? Nobody contested it. It was a homeboy hire. And people are using now the fact that you can't just replace him with anybody to not fire him. But I'm like, you could quite literally replace him with anybody, and you probably would be better off. Like, even like the whole portal thing, I get that you're going to lose some guys in the portal. Okay, you're Ohio State. You got money. You can spend. You could get people back. Like, just drop the bag. Like, do you want to compete or not?
Just throw money at a problem. That's what all the big powerhouse schools do. Just throw money at a problem until it works.
How you think Texas got back? Right? Okay. Like,
throw money at something.
You think Tennessee good by mistake? Right? Like this is how they do it. This is how you have to do it. And it's like Ryan Day is not proving it. Brother, I think very lowly of Jimbo Fisher. I think they would be a better team with Jimbo Fisher.
They would. They would.
100% would. Like, this is the thing, JP. I don't think you have to be a good coach to win a national championship in college, because you could just have the talent advantage and just let that carry you. I think Urban Meyer's a perfect example of like, hey, he was probably like a mediocre coach, but he knew how to get talent on his team, and that carried him to be a great college football coach. Ryan Day don't even got to be good at this, man. Like, he don't even got to be good at this. He's just bad at it. Like, he actively makes your talent not as good as they should be. He started to get the Cliff Kingsbury effect where like everybody he's ever had looks better without him.
Hey man, it sounds like you're describing Deshaun Watson right now at this point.
You trying to put Deshaun Watson and Ryan Day in the same jail?
Listen, man. I would. They both ruined it. They both ruined the two teams that I care about. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like what you if Indiana and Ohio State swap coaches, you telling me right now Ohio State would be undefeated?
I guarantee. What's Indiana's head coach name?
Kurt Cignetti.
Yeah, Kurt
I
Cignetti.
guarantee you we undefeated right now.
That's the thing. Like so many people
you.
were telling me you got to get somebody who's won a national championship to replace him as coach.
No,
I'm like,
you
ain't
don't.
won no national championship. What the fuck are we? You can get Steve Sarkisian and replace him. Like, what do you mean? Like, brother, you can hire Cliff Kingsbury. As low as I think of Cliff Kingsbury, I'm like, at least he brings something to the table of some identity offensively. like I'm like,
you hire Mike Vrabel, I guarantee you they probably still undefeated.
And they win the fight.
And they 100% would win the fight.
They got the two dudes in there where I'm like, oh, you got Chip Kelly up in there too?
Bro, did you see what Michael Thomas was tweeting about him?
No.
Michael Thomas was like, why the hell we think hiring Chip Kelly was a good idea, man? We cooked him in the national championship.
No, you heard, you know what the thing is with Chip Kelly, right? He be overcoated, right? Like
he was like, man, we cooked Chip Kelly. Whose idea was it to bring him in? I was like, damn, bro.
Yeah, he wasn't that great at UCLA. What was he there with Josh Rosen?
I think
he was DTR, right?
Yeah, he was DTR.
Yeah, DTR is still working off the effects of being a player under Chip Kelly, because Chip Kelly, from what I hear, he is one of them dudes who he wants things done super particular, right? Like, and that has its effect on players too. But yeah, man, what else do we need to see for this Ryan Day experiment, man? People out here like, we need to see what he do in the playoffs. We know what he about to do in the playoffs, man.
He about to lose, and he about
My
to lose.
man got his ass beat by Missouri last year, right? Like, wasn't that the case in the bowl game or something like that? It was. We know, man. We know what Ryan Day does. He's done this for years. Every time, even the one time he went to the national championship, he ruined Sean Wade's draft stock, right? Like, in Alabama, absolutely toasted him up. He's eventually going to come up against a coach who knows what they're doing and can work around the talent mismatch. And that's it. Once he doesn't have that to lean on, or he plays himself out of it like he did against Michigan, where he's like, literally, hey, how do I call this game to make sure Michigan does not have their talent advantage exposed? Then it's going to come down to, like, are you actually good at this? And he ain't good at this. He's proven this so many times.
I got to correct something you said real quick. You said Ryan Day ruined Sean Wade's draft stock.
Sean Wade ruined Sean Wade's draft stock.
Devontae Smith ruined Sean Wade's draft stock. Let's be very clear. Let's be very clear about what happened.
I was like, damn, did Devontae Smith transfer for Ohio State? This feels personal. like, and then he pieced out after the first half. Was like, all right, man.
Like, I'm good.
I'm about to get my little extra large t-shirt, get my medium t-shirt on, and hoist this national championship trophy up. My man had sneakers on by the time they hoisted that trophy up.
Ohio State, according to most projections right now, if the 12-team playoff bracket comes out today, they're projected right now to face Tennessee, which, good luck, man. I don't think that highly of Tennessee, but at least Tennessee has a competent defense, and they have an offense that can throw the ball downfield. If it's a close game, I think I'd take Tennessee, because I know that Ryan Day is going to screw something up.
Yeah.
Well, who's the defensive coordinator? He gonna have to deal with all them, like, what, them Josh Heupel weird ass formations.
Josh Heupel offense, Jim Knowles.
Yeah,
that might actually play into what Jim Knowles did. Like at Oklahoma State, he played a lot of that 3 safety stuff, but he really can't do it now because for some reason they hired a 3-down coach to coach a 4-down defense, even though Ohio State still had. It's so stupid. Why do you still have guys who are position coaches for 4-down defense with a defensive coordinator that coaches a 3-down defense? Nothing makes sense about Ohio State with Ryan Day, but he has experience defending the turbo shit offenses. So we'll see. But again, it'll be a close game, and I don't know if I trust Ryan Day out of any of the coaches that are projected to make the playoff. And that's with James Franklin projected to make the college football playoff.
Legitimate question. Better coach, Ryan Day or James Franklin?
Hey, at least James Franklin, like, he's not doing all of this with all the institutional advantages that comes with being at Ohio State. Like, Penn State, I don't think has those same advantages that Ohio State does. And also, like, James Franklin, like, at least accomplished something at Vanderbilt, whereas, like, Ryan Day's coaching history outside of Ohio State is literally nothing. Like, he was not a head coach before this. He was like a position coach before all of this. Like, I think James Franklin is not serious. But
they're both unserious.
Yeah.
I would say Ryan Day, largely because not only has James Franklin not beaten Ohio State since like 2016 or 2017, it's how they lose these games. Like, they never look prepared to play Ohio State. Like, ever.
They honestly should have won. The last one, the most recent one they played, they actually should have won. They actually should have beat Ohio State.
It's to the point with Penn State to where I don't even count them as a top 5 win for Ohio State because I'm like, they lose every year. I call them the intercontinental champion of the Big Ten, where I'm like, yeah, John Cena needs a big win to get back into the number 1 contender spot. Have him fight Dolph Ziggler. Like, make it the Monday Night Raw main event and then give it like 15 minutes and Ohio State to clear that up.
Penn State is perfect for the 12-team playoff because they are just good enough to get to the playoff, but not good enough to get a bye or not good enough to get a top 4 seed.
They are among the pair of schools where I'm like, hey, man, if you get 2 wins in the playoffs, that's going to be a win for your school. Right?
James Franklin will sign another extension.
Like, you're going to stay there forever. And the thing that I'm worried about with Ohio State is like, hey, bro, they might do that with Ryan Day. Like, it just become Penn State.
Well,
and what happens to the Big Ten if Ohio State just becomes Penn State? Like,
well, the winner of the Ohio State projected Ohio State Tennessee game would have to play Oregon again. So,
is Dan Lanning the best coach in the Big Ten right now?
Yeah.
He
is.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can say that pretty confidently.
Dan Lanning or Signetti. And Signetti just got here.
Signetti was at JMU last year. Signetti just got to the FBS, dog. like 3 years ago, he was in the Colonial Athletic Association.
Like he just got here and he's already the second best coach in the Big Ten.
Hey, it's time. Whatever bag y'all went into to get Jim Tressel, y'all need to find that shit, dog. It's time. Dig deep because y'all can't keep going out with Ryan Day, man. I don't know how Ohio State fans don't feel like suckers every time they run out and then Ryan Day's the coach and he's like, oh yeah, let's do this. Like,
bro,
every year.
I can't even watch games for real because I'm like, hey, bro, as long as this dude's the head coach, I know we're not serious. Like none of these wins against these teams that anybody on my Twitter timeline could coach Ohio State to a victory to matter to me. Like, I don't care that you beat Akron, bro. I don't.
No, it was funny watching Ohio State fans because I was watching y'all react to Georgia about to lose to Georgia Tech, right? And Ohio State fans were like, "Oh, unserious Georgia." And I remember seeing that. I'm like, I think Curtis put something out here. He was like talking about what were you talking about? What, Georgia losing to Georgia Tech? And I quote tweeted it with, "Will Ryan Day see this and ask somebody to hold his beer?" Like,
it was hilarious. It's hilarious watching everybody go like SEC is just such a weak conference. Everybody's unserious. Right. And then Ohio State goes out and loses to a service academy.
First thing in service academy.
First thing in the morning, too. That is the first game
in the morning. Like what? Georgia and Georgia Tech literally went off the air like 10 hours before that game.
Like they just played. We were so
like you got a full night of sleep and then you woke up in Ohio State out here blowing it to Michigan.
We were so ready to shit on Georgia, and then Ohio State decided to take that. They took that baton straight from them.
No, Georgia was like, yeah, it took us 6 overtimes or 7 overtimes to beat Georgia Tech. It took you 4 quarters to lose to a weak ass Michigan team. Like, at least you can argue that Georgia Tech was like decent this year, right? Like, they weren't a bad team. They're just not a very talented team.
You know who else falls in this category, especially from this past weekend?
Oh, Miami.
Don't think I didn't see you. don't think that is.
Come here. 380 yards to Kyle McCord.
Not only that, Mario Cristobal, step to the podium, please. You're down by 2 touchdowns. It's 4th and goal with 6 minutes left in the game. Why the fuck are you kicking a field goal? Why are you kicking you have a Heisman candidate at quarterback.
It's JP. Here's the thing that drives me nuts about that.
Like, they scored 80 billion points this season, and Mario Cristobal's like, yeah, we're gonna kick a field goal here, and expect the defense to have given up 42 points to Kyle McCord.
And the thing that's crazy about that, JP, they've played in so many close games in the 4th quarter. Like, they should really know what to do. Every game worth anything that they've played has been close in the 4th quarter, and then they get to the 4th quarter and just like, oh, I don't know. Like, you have played more tight 4th quarter games than anybody in the country. Every single one of your 4th quarter games has been also with the other team thinking we could get a top 5 upset, right? First time in 25 years, right? Duke, okay, Georgia Tech, like Virginia Tech.
In so many ways, Miami is a reflection of what Cam Ward is as a quarterback. Because there's just some bullshit that's gonna happen where you're just like, what the hell, man? And that was this game. It was some bullshit. They were up 21-0, and they lost the game. They were gonna go to the ACC championship. They had an easy spot in the college.
They were about to get away with no ranked victories and losing to Georgia Tech and got a fucking bye week. They were about to get away with it, dog. Like, all they had to do was beat one ranked team. Like,
they were so close to fucking around. They always fucked around and never found out, except for Georgia Tech. And then they give up 42 points to Syracuse.
See, look, this is why
we gotta talk about that Georgia Tech win really quick. Because Q, you was at that game, weren't you?
Oh yeah, I was there. Yeah, I watched that in person. I was like, yeah, never drafted Cam Ward. Like,
I was gonna say JP. As soon as I talked to him after that, he told me Curtis, he was like,
I was halfway through because I was like, I'm excited to go watch Cam. Because like the whole time before that, I was talking on the podcast like, I'm gonna see Cam Ward in person. I'm gonna reserve my judgments. You know, I think people are being like, because the people were comparing him to Zach Wilson. I'm like, but he's much better, like as a college player than Zach when he's older. I was like, I want to go see him, man. I got halfway through, I think, the 2nd quarter, and I was like, I done seen this man just like watch the mesh go in front of him, like 5 times, and then like one time he threw it, and the guy was all the way at the sideline. I'm like, what? Why now?
Like, what are you doing?
No. Cam Ward plays football like he's legitimately waiting for the play to break down in order to start playing. Like,
the whole thing with him beginning of the season, like he's so relaxed in the pocket, he's just standing there. No, yeah, he's legitimately just standing there.
He's just waiting. He's like, all right, man, everybody doing what they supposed to. Let's see what happens once I roll right.
Like, all right, everybody, like, go ahead and just run the play. But I'm just gonna roll this way, and then everybody just figure it out.
I want to know what he looked like in 7-on-7s at practice. Like, do he just be breaking the pocket for no reason?
Oh, he probably pissed me off. In 7-on-7. Stop running.
His linebackers hate him. That's how you gonna know how Cam Ward be acting in practice. The first time one of his former teammates on defense goes up against him and just smacks him. Like, yeah, you can't get that shit now. Like, there ain't no first down.
It's incredible how Miami continues to just. I said this after they lost. Miami had their best season since 2017. And still didn't make the ACC title game because SMU, a Methodist school from Texas, came in the first year and made the ACC title game. Clemson got their ass kicked by South Carolina and still is going to walk ass backwards into the ACC title game because you couldn't beat Syracuse.
Shout out to Cam McCormick. He spent 10 years in college football, and he's going to go to the Las Vegas Bowl in 2017, the Holiday Bowl in 2022, the Pinstripe Bowl in 2023, and maybe if he gets lucky, he might get that Outback Steakhouse Bowl this year.
That's a well-traveled man. You know, that's frequent flyer miles.
He know all about them off-brand bowl games, right? Like,
I bet he has so many so many drawstring bags full of perks from the.
He got PS3 games. Like he got PS3 games.
He has so many Apple Watches from these games.
He out there like, damn. They was in the locker room. Let's get it for the Gipper.
He got at least $1,000 in gift cards just from these.
He got a fucking HH Greg gift card in there somewhere. This motherfucker played in the Circuit City Bowl.
Dog, he came into college the same year as Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert on his second contract.
No, his 24/7 profile is crazy when you look at the class he was in, because like he is legitimately old, dog. Like I think he was like a year after he played college football in the same era as Deshaun Watson. Like,
damn.
Yes.
Damn.
Yes. What class was he? He class of
2016.
He got 17 entries. No, yeah, he got his first offer in 2014, brother. Jameis was still at Florida State. Okay. Jameis and Marcus Mariota were going back and forth, number 1, number 2 picks when he got his first offer.
The number 1 player in his recruiting class was Rashawn Gary.
Ooh.
That's insane. Oh, I got to pull up the 2016.
Shea Patterson was the number 1 quarterback.
No.
What?
Saskatchewan Rough Rider quarterback Shea Patterson.
That's insane.
Dog.
That's insane. And he's still not gonna get to a BCS bowl. Was he just got in by the time they got rid of the BCS.
Yo.
Like he talking about, yeah, I remember the Pac-12 was a thing.
I was there.
You're like, yeah, man. Back when I was picking schools, you know, Nebraska was new to the Big Ten. Brother Dexter Lawrence was in his fucking recruiting class.
Nick Bosa was in his recruiting class.
Greg Little, the offensive tackle.
Mac Wilson.
What happened to him? Like
Michael Pittman Jr., Brian Burns, a couple of noticeable names. Jonah Williams, McCole Hardman, Christian Fulton, Jonathan Cooper, Jeffrey Simmons.
McCole Hardman.
Nick Bosa, Ed Oliver.
AJ Brown
was in this class.
Am I gonna find somebody who retired? Like,
dog, AJ Brown was the
AJ Brown
player in this class.
Chauncey Gardner Johnson was in his class.
Chauncey Gardner Johnson been on like 3 teams.
Holy shit. Oh, wait, what year did he get to Oregon? Let me look at the Oregon 2016 roster to see who this man shared a football field with.
Jalen Hurts was in that class.
Dog,
Matt Mariota was apparently Marcus Mariota had a brother named Matt. He played linebacker at the same time the Cam was there. That's fun, right? So still the residuals of Marcus Mariota era still hanging around there.
Oh wait, I got another one. DK Metcalf was in.
No,
wow,
yes.
Dog, that's nuts.
That's insane, bro. That's insane.
Because Oregon,
Devin White was in that class too.
Dog, his career's up, bro. Like,
I got N'Keal Harry was in that recruiting class.
Royce Freeman was at Oregon when he got there.
Oh my god.
Brother, Justin Herbert was a freshman.
Yeah, he was in the same recruiting class as Justin Herbert.
Look at this picture of Justin. I'm gonna send this shit to in the group text to Cole, and Cole react to this, because look at this picture of Justin Herbert that is on there for him at this stage of his career.
Hold on, let me see.
Yes, brother.
Oh wait, I
Herbert
got another one. I
looked
got
like
another
a
name. I got another name.
kid, bro.
You got another one?
Yeah, I got another one. Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley was in this class.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Brother, what?
Yeah, man.
What?
It's time for him.
In the same year. Sam McCormick.
Yeah, it's
Oh
time
my
to get them Social
God.
Security. It's time to dip into Social Security, big dog. It's about that
I don't
time.
even want to see him at the Senior Bowl. Like, don't you dare walk up in here, Cam.
Let me find
Josh
out you get
Jacobs,
another
too.
year.
Josh Jacobs was in his class too.
Brother,
Oh my
he
God.
was in college at the same time. Well, no, he just got into college when Jared Goff got into the league. He accepted he was on campus and Obama was still president. That's how old Cam McCormick. He'd have been in college for how many administrations? Like,
Oh Lord.
Dang. So we talking Obama first term,
yeah,
Trump
Yeah.
first term,
yep.
Joe,
And he about to,
and then
and depending on what, well, he ain't in the playoff no more, right? So he can't play past the inauguration. But you know, he pretty much was there for the to start the third one. He was in there in that locker room during the election, like, yeah, it's my third one, man. Y'all gonna get through it.
I'll go out and vote. Go out and vote.
Go out and vote. It's important. 10 years ago, I didn't vote.
whole locker room like, all right, we got it.
Don't you dare call that. That's the one thing that came out of all this that I abhor. Don't you call that white man Unc. Okay? You call him something else. Okay? You call him Uncle Cam or something like that. Like, ain't no Unc. Chad Johnson is Unc. Okay? Like, that is the general energy of Myles Garrett was in college at the same time the fucking Cam McCormick was.
Cam McCormick is 10 years older than Ryan Williams.
Wait, is Cam McCormick younger than Myles Garrett?
I think so.
Is he older than Myles Garrett? How old is Myles?
Miles is 29.
Oh, Myles is 29. I thought he was like 27.
No.
Myles is born in 95. Okay, he's 28. So he's 1 year older than Cam McCormick.
Yeah. Ryan Williams is 9 years younger than Cam McCormick, and they are in college at the same time.
It's illegal for Cam McCormick and Ryan Williams to hang out, dog. like, that's crazy. Nah. What class should he have been in, right? 2016. He could have been in 2019 draft class or 2020. So he should have been out with like Kyler Murray and them. Daniel Jones. Goodness gracious. Roquan Smith was still a thing at Georgia. Like, this is insane.
It's insane, bro.
Quentin Nelson was still at Notre Dame. Building up his draft. We didn't even know about him yet. Like,
we get it, bro. He's old. He old as hell.
Baker Mayfield hadn't started at Oklahoma yet. We still thought Trevor Knight was the guy. Okay.
It is amazing.
Oh. Dude. Sam Darnold. Like, wow. All of that too. You ain't get to one New Year's Six bowl, man. What? Like,
Hey, you know what? I gotta blame Mario Cristobal for that. That's not your fault, Cam.
hey, this is a 10-year journey. I know he's furious. And he went to good schools the whole time. Like, it's not like he went to like Southwest Texas. Like, no, he was at Oregon and Miami the whole time. And once he left Oregon, they started being really good again. Like,
Again, I blame Mario Cristobal.
my man went through Tate Martell's whole college football career. Well, whole football career, period, right? Because he retired. Like, all that happened. Cam McCormick's like junior year, like technically of eligibility. Oh,
Cam McCormick remembers when there was no NIL.
like thoroughly remembers it too. Like he called it, that's a new money. Okay.
That's that new money.
Yeah, but what NIL was what 2020?
Yeah, like 2020, 2021.
Yeah, my man was like 4 or 5 years deep. He should have been out of there by then. If my boys like Justin Herbert had NIL, he would have did numbers. He's the last millennial left in college football. Like,
I need to know how many iPhones have been released since Cam McCormick been in college.
dog, let me see. 2016
Ooh,
iPhone.
2016. What's that?
2016 iPhone, the 7. We weren't even at the 10.
Oh God, the 7?
The 7.
Oh, we're on the 16.
We had a home button still, bro. Like,
Man, you had the old charging cables, the old charging cords, the old inputs, everything, dog.
Drake was out here talking about she got a 5S with the screen crack. Still text me back right away. Like, the Migos just came out. LeBron was in Cleveland. Like, that's nuts. I need to know how many phones he got in this desk drawer. Because where he keep all this stuff, he been in the dorm room this whole time. Like,
Man, he has to have a house. He has to have a house somewhere. By now.
how? With what money?
He has to.
With what money, Cole? He ain't got a job. He been doing this for 10 years. Like, nah, he got the nicest apartment student housing could offer him. Right? Like, imagine being 27 sitting in one of them rocking chairs you sat in college. Like, 10 years on a twin mattress, y'all. I'd have been tired of it. I wanted to get out of college so bad after my 4th year. I was like, yeah, I'm doing 4 and out. I could imagine doing 10. Could you imagine doing 10? We all went to school. Could you imagine doing 10? Shit was played out at the 4. It's like, hey, I don't know if I want to come back for 5. Like,
I could barely do grad school, and that was 1 year.
yeah. Yeah, everybody I know that's done grad school, my man could have got a doctorate. Okay, he could be doing, if he would have applied himself to medicine, okay, instead of football, my man would be doing surgery at Johns Hopkins right now.
You know what? There's still time. There's still time.
I was like, he got to have a master's, right? Like,
You better. You've been in college for 9
somebody
years.
told me he got a master's, he got a bachelor's, and he got a second master's. I'm like, yeah, probably. How did you stay in school this long? Like,
What classes?
what have you learned? Like,
You've probably taken like every class that there is to offer.
my man just in there bullshitting, taking volleyball. Like, intro to badminton. Like, archery.
Or something.
You're gonna find out he on the archery club. Like, oh my God. Like, what do you do for 10 years on a college campus?
Play football, apparently.
Yeah, play football, chill. Yeah, I think that's it at this point.
Hey, shout out to Cam McCormick, man. We will only have one person ever like Cam McCormick. Like, that will never happen again, right?
Oh, I hope not, because you won't get the COVID year.
Yeah, because it's what the COVID year, the injury red shirts, the heart. Like, there are rules that he took advantage of that don't exist anymore. Like, straight up. Whew. How many schools have entered the FBS since he's been in it?
Oh my gosh. When he entered college football, Sam Houston State was not an FBS.
No, because I remember like Youngstown almost played them in the playoffs one year, right? Like, we played JMU in 2016 in the national championship. Okay, I remember that. Like how many schools? What Was it JMU crossed? There's schools that have crossed.
State.
Huh?
Jacksonville State.
Jacksonville State. That was recent, right? Because when Kyle was in school while Cam was in there, right? Like,
let's see. Since 2016, UAB.
Oh yeah, they came back.
Coastal Carolina.
Wait, JP, did UAB go away and come back during his college career?
Yes. Yes. UAB disbanded their football program.
The Idaho went back to the FCS during this time period.
Okay. So UAB the football program was terminated in 2014.
Okay.
Cam McCormick got to school in 2016. UAB football returned in 2017.
Okay. That's crazy, man. They're just insane Cam McCormick's career here, man. But yeah, shout out to Miami. Super unserious. Love that about them, man. And like the most predictable unserious football team of all. You knew watching this. This is like, hey, man, what if 2015 Florida State did not have Jameis Winston, but somebody slightly worse?
And a worse defense. Like that defense is so freaking bad.
I remember the wheels falling off of Jameis Winston in 2015 when he got sacked. And he had that very funny sack. And I was like, oh, I don't know if this is who we thought he was. It started to feel very goofy with Jameis there. And then everything else came out about the whole draft stuff with him. But this is nuts, man. So what do you think Miami makes a playoff?
No, I don't think so.
Absolutely not, right?
I don't think so. If it came down to them being an at-large without any, I mean, their one ranked win, I think, was Louisville.
Are they ranked still?
I don't know. Let me see.
I don't think they are.
I don't think they are. But Louisville is a quality win. I think Louisville's a good football team. And then their best win outside of that is probably Florida at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, Florida's what, 6-6 now?
Yeah, but that was
they didn't lose to Florida State, did they?
No.
Okay.
So those are their two biggest wins, and at that point, you're thinking, and this is if SMU wins and knocks Clemson out. SMU wins, they're in. If Clemson beats SMU, you can probably get Clemson and Miami in.
I don't know how you sneak Miami in because like they got what, 2 losses now, and like the SEC team, one of the ones you're gonna let in, what, 2 of them beat Georgia, and what, South Carolina beat Alabama.
Well, I think SEC is gonna probably end up getting 4 teams, depending on what happens with the SEC championship game. If Georgia beats Texas, Georgia is in. Texas is in. Tennessee is in, and then at that point, you're saying it's either 3-loss Alabama or 2-loss Miami. And
I'm
Alabama.
Alabama.
I think I'd rather see Alabama.
Let's go one more with Milrow. Let's see what we get.
We'll roll that dice. But if Texas beats Georgia in the SEC title game, I think Texas gets in, Tennessee gets in, I think Georgia gets in, but I think that's it. So then there's an opportunity for Miami to get one of those spots. But again, it will require a lot of help.
Because Indiana is still miraculously going to make this thing, right?
Indiana should. Indiana's going to be in there. Yeah. They've locked up a spot.
By the way, what team are they projected to play?
I think according to CBS Sports. Oh no,
don't say Georgia.
It's Georgia.
Oh no! Oh, it's gonna be so bad.
Why would they do that to them?
That's rough. That's gonna be rough.
So the other one, the projected ones right now are the projected first round games are Notre Dame against Arizona State.
Okay, that'd be fun.
Penn State against Alabama.
That's not gonna be fun.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be.
Jalen Milroe's gonna run for 200 in
that
game.
I think Alabama wins.
Georgia against Indiana. That's in Athens.
Georgia.
Hey, Curtis Work, Curtis Work gonna have to have the most comeback game of his life because he put up 67 against Ohio State.
And then in Columbus will be Ohio State against Tennessee.
In Columbus. I don't know if that makes it better for Ohio State.
I don't think that makes it better for Ohio State. I really don't.
Because 2 3-and-outs, that crowd go boo, bro.
Let them get the 4th and 2 and they punt again.
Boo.
They gonna start to hear it.
And then you get beat by some mid SEC like brand. Like it ain't even like, okay, you lost to Bama or something like that. Like the people who don't really pay attention ain't gonna be like, oh yeah, we lost to Tennessee. That's
now you lost to Tennessee. Tennessee's offense not even that good this year.
You lost to the Penn State of the SEC. Like
you lost to a team that was known for offense, and the offense sucks this year.
Jimmy Haslam gonna be thrilled. Let me tell you. Everybody in the Browns organization gonna be like, "Oh yeah, we definitely getting fired." Jimmy,
hey, look, man, no, Jimmy Haslam. We are so thankful for his other endeavors that are not going great, right? Because he be out there in Tennessee football, the Milwaukee Bucks, but he don't be touching this. After that, he did that to Deshaun Watson trade. Like, all right, boys, peace out.
Again,
and then came back in and was like, "Hey, it's not working out." Okay, well, figure it out. Like, I'm gonna go ruin the Bucks. Like.
Time to clock out.
All right, let's go make Giannis want to trade. Let's go trade for Austin Rivers or something like that.
Austin Rivers not even in the league no more, dog.
Let's go sign Austin Rivers to be the assistant coach. But it's been interesting here. What bowl you think Colorado gets? Do you think they play anybody?
I think they get the Alamo Bowl. That's the one that's right before New Year's 6. It's always the most exciting bowl game. They might save that for the loser of the Big 12. So it probably end up being
BYU or
it's Iowa State or Arizona State. But I'll put Colorado there. It just makes more sense. And now that the Pac-12 isn't a thing, you can just put any old team in that Alamo Bowl spot, probably on the West Coast. So what would be incredibly fun, but I don't think will happen, is Colorado UNLV. But I don't think they'd do that in the Alamo Bowl.
You think they do Colorado Tulane?
Oh God. That'd actually be a really fun game. Tulane's crowd probably will travel, but I think they want to stick with West Coast teams in the Alamo Bowl spot. So you're thinking like I said, UNLV. I don't think they do a Big 12 game. So that takes out Iowa State. That takes out like a BYU. The Pac-12 is dead. So wait, they could do Washington State. Washington State.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
That probably end up being it.
That'd be fun. All right. If you had to build your run game and you're a GM and you got Ashton Genty and you got Will Campbell on the board right in front of you, or your favorite guard in this draft,
is this your way of
what
trying
do
to
you
segue into talking about the draft with JP?
This is me trying to fill the last 5 minutes of the podcast. Okay, this is we running the hurry up offense. Okay.
All right, let me phrase it like this. All right, JP, if you were the Cleveland Browns and you're
no, not the Cleveland Browns. Picks. I'm just saying in general. Because it's a philosophical question. I'm like, what do you feel like is more important? Getting the better interior offensive lineman, or getting the dude you think is like a special running back?
Well, I think it depends on where you are as a team and where you are in terms of team construction. So, like, I'll just use my team for example, the Jaguars. The Jaguars should probably take Will Campbell. If they want a guard, they should get a guard because they have running backs already. Although I do think Travis Etienne might be on his way out. They've been kind of quiet about an extension for him, and he's seen everybody else get an extension, and you're basically choosing between him or Andre Cisco. From the Browns' perspective, I think I would go Campbell, but it's close because the offensive line can't stay healthy. That's the big reason why you go offensive line, because nobody has been healthy up front.
Mhm.
So as much as I think Ashton Jeanty is awesome, I think he's my second ranked player on the board, on my big board recently. I think I would go Campbell just because the Browns' offensive line can't stay healthy.
And they're old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like they're just not as like Joe Batonio's not moving ass anymore. Like, do you think if you're the Browns, you think Mekhi Becton is somebody you go after in free agency?
Yes. Well, I think Mekhi Becton would be cool, but I don't know how Mekhi Becton would fit in this offense because it is so wide zone, outside zone based. Mekhi Becton, for the most part of his time in Philadelphia, has not run outside zone. It is more inside zone, power, duo, counter. It's things where he limits his range because he is a massive guard.
Yes.
Like I think he's like 6'6" and like over 350 pounds. That's a massive guard. But
now, JP, can I raise you the image of DeJuan Jones next to Mekhi Becton?
That would be incredible. That would be an incredible image.
Hey, every quarterback sneak.
Just run behind those guys.
Yeah,
you only got to be real specific with it. Just run behind them too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I understand it, but I also worry a little bit about the scheme fit, especially with Stefanski looking like he's going to stay.
Yeah,
I think the zone running that Cleveland does might not be the best fit for Beck.
Who do you think would be a good fit in that class? Because it's going to be like James Daniels and Will Hernandez too.
Let me see. The tackle class is really weird. The tackle and guard class is really weird this upcoming
the draft class.
Yeah, this draft class feels like it's going to be more guard and tackle. I think Emory Jones might go back to school and play guard, so that takes a guy off the board. I think if you really want to tackle, Cam Williams from Texas is massive. Hasn't played a lot. He's only been a 1-year starter, but he's got the tools athletically. Josh Simmons from Ohio State was playing incredible before I think he tore his ACL. So he's playing really well. I don't know how high he's going to go because of the injury, but you got a lot of guys who are tackles and probably end up playing guard. But if there's any of the top two that I think could stick at tackle, I think it's Kelvin Banks. You give him the shot at tackle, and then if not, then you let him play guard.
All right. So if you're the Browns, you would go interior. Like any of the free agents that you could get at guard, do you think are of any interest? Like I think Will Hernandez and James Daniels are probably the two more notable names that will be unrestricted free agents this year and probably hit the market.
I mean, it's a cool stopgap.
Yeah.
It'd be fine for like a 1-year smaller deal. James Daniels make a lot of sense. I would be intrigued to see if Detroit lets Kevin Zeitler walk. I think he's been hurt, but I'd be intrigued to see him walk.
We can't bring him back.
I was about to say, I don't think we can bring him back.
He's already been here. He's been on like every AFC North. He's gonna end up on the Steelers for some reason. Like,
yeah, the guard class really isn't that great.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking for a guard, you might as well get one in the draft. But out at tackle, there are some really interesting names. I'm curious to see what happens with Garrett Bowles in Denver. I think he's played really well recently with Denver playing really well. So see what happens with him. Out at tackle, Cam Robinson, maybe. I'm not sure if he's the greatest fit. But from there, you might as well, draft a lineman and let him play young.
How much do you think Garrett Bowles will be in free agency?
Ooh, what were the free agent deals last year for tackles? What they look like?
Jonah got like.
Yeah, I think he's better than Jonah Williams.
Yeah,
Jonah got 15 a year. Right now, Orlando Brown Jr. is at 16. and Bowles right now is at 17.
Mm.
So Bowles coming off a $17 million a year deal. I would say in the 18 million range. That's put him right around Jake Matthews and Colton Miller. He's 32, been a little injury prone. I would say the 16 to 18 range would be really good for him.
Because I wonder how appealing it would be for the Browns to say, hey, we're going to cut Jack Conklin. That'll free up like, well, I think 15 in cap space if you do it.
It's like closer to 16.
16 in cap space if you do it post June 1st and say, we'll pay the extra the difference on that to get a little bit younger and to move the money down because they're just trying to get shit past these next couple of years where they have to kind of just sit through the Watson deal. So I wonder if that's going to be something. And then who knows? They could get to a thing with Watson where like he agrees to some kind of buyout, but accelerates a bunch of money to this year. And then they just say, hey, fuck it. We're just eating this year, but y'all know why. And everybody's going to be cool with it. And then we'll be back in 2026 to do this thing for real. But I think there's some ways that the Browns could go about it. Like, I think they just need to they have relied on this core of offensive linemen since 2020, and they have aged and aged and aged. And now it's like to the point where even when they are healthy, right, they have 4 of their offensive linemen starting in this game, could not get a single push. Like, there was a struggle to get that 1 4th and 1. So I think if I'm the Browns, I'm like, you gotta come up with you gotta have some hard conversations about guys who've been here forever that were pillars of your culture, and Wyatt Teller and Joel, because it's time to move from Joel. Like, Joel's just don't got it no more. He's old. Like, he needs to retire, or you're gonna have him play a very sad year with the Patriots.
Well, the issue there is, especially if you bring in a young quarterback, then you don't want him to come in behind. You don't want him to come in behind a bunch of first-year linemen.
That's true.
Linemen that have never played with each other. That's kind of the issue with where the Patriots have gone with Drake May and why they sat him for so long, because you needed the offensive line to get reps to gel together. So if you end up having to let Bitonio and Teller walk and Wills is gone, that means you're replacing 3 out of 5 starters from the beginning of the season. And that's going into an offseason where you might have to replace the quarterback as well. So I think the Browns are faced with a couple of options where you either rebuild the offensive line and punt on this QB class early, or, you draft the quarterback but let him sit and wait until next year's class where you can get a tackle or something, kind of like what the Patriots are doing now.
The thing is like, I don't see any quarterback in this class that you wouldn't like fully have sit for a year other than Shedeur Sanders, right? Like, that's the only guy that screams you're probably going to have to play him year 1. But I think if you get any of these other guys, like maybe the fan base might want Cam Ward to play, but I don't see him making that argument to a coaching staff successfully with his play. Milroe is most certainly one that you take him, everybody understands that this is a red shirt year kind of situation there. And then Alora's not going to come this year, and then neither is Cade Klubnik. So what we're talking about, I guess if you draft, I just don't think it's a good idea to draft. What's his name from Texas?
Ewers?
Yeah, I just don't think it's a good idea. Like, I think
I don't think Ewers is a great fit for this offense at all.
No,
like,
he does.
He is one of the worst deep ball throwers I think I've seen as a prospect.
Well, I mean, if you want to do what you did with Deshaun Watson, he can certainly do that, right?
Oh yeah, if you want to just throw RPOs all game, he's great.
He can certainly do that, but I think any quarterback that it would make sense for the Browns to take would probably be a bit of a project. And so I don't think to them. Also, I think Joe has this line's been so bad, even with these guys healthy at times. I don't think it makes a difference if they're veterans or not, like, because the quality of play just hasn't been up there for these guys. And that's what Jameis for, right? Crash test dummy. Just let them take the hits or whoever you bring in there. Do you think you have a good idea of what the Browns want to do based on like how aggressive they are in free agency at quarterback, or like with trading for one?
I think I kind of have a good idea, especially with Jameis playing relatively well. They might go the bridge quarterback role and let Jameis play. for another year, but especially with where they're going to be picking, they might end up being able to take the first good defensive player off the board because if the Jaguars end up picking first, the Jaguars, I think, will want to trade down for a QB hungry team, like, if New York doesn't finish within the top 5.
Do you think a team what do you think a team trades to get to the number 1 overall pick this year if they really want it?
Because it's not as heavy of a QB class, I think the Bryce Young trade was that year's 1, next year's 1, DJ Moore, and a bunch of other picks. I don't think it's going to take the DJ Moore caliber of player, but I think it'll take a 1 this year, a 1 next year, and additional picks to get it done. But again, you're playing the hypothetical of if a team desperately wants Shedeur Sanders, which might only end up being a few teams based on where they go free agency wise.
Do you think a team's going to be that in love with him that they're going to be willing to trade like a future first for him?
You'd be surprised. Honestly.
Yeah, we probably see teams come out of the blue for a quarterback. I think right now the Jaguars had the number 1 pick, then it's the Raiders and the Giants at 2 and 3. So if you want a quarterback, you have to get ahead of number 2 and number 3. And so you're looking at teams like maybe the Jets, depending on what happens with Aaron Rodgers at 6. What happens with Levis at 7. Cleveland is at 8. New Orleans is at 10. And from there, those are kind of the quarterback teams that desperately need quarterbacks. So you might be playing a little bit of a dangerous game, hoping somebody trades up. But if I'm the Browns, I think I'm good with standing pat and just drafting the best player on the board, because you're either going to get a tackle or a guard, or a guy like Will Johnston or Mason Graham falls to you at 7 or 8, wherever they were, and get a top 5 player at 7.
Mason Graham, there it is.
I would go with best player available. Like either Mason Graham would work, Tetro Boomin would work, Luther Burden would work.
My nickname is catching on.
Yeah, Tetro Boomin is going to catch on. Abdul Carter is also someone that I would consider, because the Browns can go in so many options when it comes to the draft. Like, you could always go best player available. They're not going to trade down, but if they get wherever they pick, I would consider, adding another offensive weapon in. Burden would fit perfectly. Same goes with Tetro. But if you get Abdul Carter, Mason Graham, no problem with that.
I'm a little more hesitant on Luther Burden than most people. I still think he's a little bit of a gadgety player. Like, you got to get some specific roles for him, and I think he is a slot receiver. So I don't know what Elijah Moore's contract situation looks like.
Well, Judy's the slot for the Browns.
Yeah, you have Judy playing in the slot. So where are you going to play Luther Burden, and where are you going to play Jerry Jeudy? So I think, of course, Tet would fit best in that spot. But again, you're spending a top 10 pick on a guy. Well, I think he is wide receiver 1. How high of a ceiling do you think McMillan has?
Yeah.
Like, I think he's a very good receiver, but we're trying to figure out if he's this dominant number 1. I think he's play style. He's very similar to Drake London in terms of how he wins. He's a big guy, doesn't really move like a big guy. He's much more fluid, but he's much better as like a power slot, or a guy that you get like moving off of like stacks and bunches, which is what Atlanta's done. So you got to figure out how you best deploy all those guys. But if you draft a guy like Mason Graham, you know exactly what he's going to do. Like, you immediately shore up the defensive tackle spot, and then good luck trying to block Mason Graham and Myles Garrett.
Hey, got the connection there, because you got Mike Hall last year. He's been playing well when he was out there. And then, it don't even matter who you got at the other edge. You can just throw out Isaiah McGuire or something like that and be fine. But imagine that. Imagine being a guard.
Good luck. Good luck. You could go Will Johnson and pair Denzel Ward and Will Johnson. Good luck with that. Like, you got to try and throw the ball somewhere. So they're in a really good spot. I think if Jacksonville ends up staying and goes Travis Hunter, which I would be fine with, and Vegas and New York go quarterback, that means I think that's kind of a little bit of a bad scenario for Cleveland, because then you have New England, Carolina, New York, and Tennessee, who will more than likely pick skill position players. But from there, you can honestly be in a great spot just to pick best player available.
Mm-hmm. And then my last question is, do you think we start to see the shameless formulation of teams towards that 2027 draft class?
Oh, we're going to see a lot of teams start to punt for 2026. I think we're starting to see it early. You know, we start to see it during last year's draft with guys like, okay, we're going to punt on this class, because I think it's strong in some spots, but I think a lot of teams are just going to go, you know what, we'll just wait for 2026 when we can play the Arch Manning sweepstakes or something. You know, then you really start to get into who's going to be available, who's going to be the team that ends up like, we don't need a quarterback right now, which again, you know, maybe that's the route Cleveland goes. You get your best player available in the first round. You grab maybe some quality players day 2 and just punt on day 3 and backload to try and make a big trade up for the 2026 draft, where, I mean, right now, Arch Manning might be the guy, but
you think he goes after his first year of like full play at Texas, or you think he probably stays for another year there?
If he plays really well at Texas, which if he plays really well at Texas, I think he leaves. I think he's already the better quarterback, but I think you have Arch. I think Drew Aller is going to come back and be in the 2026 draft. Nussmeier is going to come back. Klubnik's going to come back.
Think Milroe might stay in college?
He should.
It's tough
because he hasn't had a second year with the same OC, right?
No, he hasn't had a second year with the same OC ever. I think it's tough because Alabama's recruiting so many top-ranked guys.
It's true.
At the quarterback spot. But Jalen Milroe's played fairly well, so he's going to stay in his spot as a starter. And the freshmen who come in can sit and wait. So I would tell Jalen Milroe to return to college, but I understand if he gets a early day 2 grade from the NFL, might as well play the game, because QB tax might move you into the late first round. I think the big question mark for 2026 is if Nico Yamaleava is going to turn out to be anything at Tennessee, because the dude is 6'6", has a cannon for an arm, but I feel like he's kind of been inconsistent this year in his first full year as a starter. If he is anything close to what he was supposed to be at coming out of high school, I wouldn't be surprised if he shoots up draft boards next year.
Because 2027 is going to be Lagway.
Lagway and Raiola.
Yeah, Raiola. And then there's more Lenore Sellers is 2026, right?
No. Well, hold on. Let me see. I think he might be.
And then
I think he is 2027. No, he's 2026. He's a redshirt freshman.
Yeah.
So Sellers might be the big question mark, because, I mean, if you watch him play, he is a monster athletically. If you want another Anthony Richardson type of player, it's Lenore Sellers. So I'd be curious to see if he enters, because he'll be a redshirt sophomore next year. He might just wait.
I get the feeling that 2027 class is gonna be a fucking monster. Because the one thing with the Manning family is they seem to really value playing in college, but I think Arch is a little different. So Arch out there giving dap, he feels like a dude who might come out the first opportunity he gets, but that Manning family is oh no, they don't really have a rush to get to the NFL, right? If he could walk and chew bubble gum, he's gonna be the top 3 pick of the draft with that last name alone. So it could be possible he's in that class.
I think if Arch Manning is anything like what we thought he was going to be coming out of high school and what we think he can be as in his first spot time as a starter at Texas. I think if he plays anything close to that in his first full year as a starter, he's going to enter the draft. Largely just because you might as well strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we've seen guys come back for their senior year and it just not work out, like Carson Beck. You know, like we've seen that story happen.
What do you do with him? Because like he was somebody people were like, hey, he could be the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Comes back, this Georgia team's less talented than they were last year. They certainly disappoint. He's part of that. Like, how much do you value what happened in this year versus what people saw in him that made them like him enough coming into this year?
I actually think Carson Beck is pretty good. I think some of the struggles have been just there's nobody open at Georgia. Like this is, I made a comparison a few weeks back, but this is when Alabama went through that period before Lane Kiffin of offensive weirdness, ineptitude, but they did it without all the superstar receivers because they have no receiving talent there due to the portal, entering the draft early. So I think Carson Beck is pretty good, but I also think Carson Beck has to have a lot of stuff go right around him for him to be pretty good. But we're seeing a lot of teams take that position and turn it into, if everything else is perfect around you, you'll just be all right.
What do you think is the, I guess I'll give you 2 price tags for Carson Beck. The appropriate price tag on Carson Beck when it comes to what round, and the run to the podium and take him round for him.
So appropriate, I think he's probably around the early, middle, second round. I think that he can be a quality starter. I think he can be a average NFL starter if things go right. Yeah. But with the QB tax and teams might be desperate, you know, if you want to take best player available early in the first round, then swing back around and pick a quarterback late in the first to get that 5th-year option. That is kind of what I see for Carson Beck, where maybe he'll go in the second round. Maybe that's where he should go. But because you want the 5th-year option for quarterbacks, you might as well grab him when he's there, you know.
You think he's a fit for what Kevin likes to do?
I think so. I think he is operating at his best off play action. I think his arm is good enough to test downfield, but he is willing to throw in the tight windows. He has a little bit more recklessness to his game than I thought, and he needs good playmakers around him more than anything else.
Yeah, I have a tough time guessing what Kevin wants because what they're successful with and what they go out and acquire at quarterback have been 2 completely different things at times, right? Because like you look at the DTR draft pick, it's like I get some of it, right? Like something tells me that I should be afraid that the Browns like Cam Ward. I don't know why they would like Cam Ward. But then, you know, they went out and pursued Deshaun Watson, run the Kevin Stefanski offense, which like made no sense to me, like ever, right? So I don't know. Something tells me I need to be worried about that. I think if they're looking at some of these guys, like K. Klubnik makes sense for them, but he's not going to be in this year's class. I think Carson Beck makes sense. I get the weird feeling that they would like Milroe because of like, I think pure intangibles. And like his athletic ability, like they like having a quarterback who can move.
Maybe, but I just don't see that offense schematically working for him. Like we've seen with Deshaun, how much Kevin Stefanski had to change his offense and bring in Ken Dorsey, who ran more of the spread RPO stuff. I don't think he wants to do that. I think he wants to be under center, get more condensed formations, and then throw the ball a mile downfield off play action, which Milroe probably can do, but we've never seen him do it at the college level.
Yeah, we'll see. You think they should have took Rattler last year?
No.
No hesitation. No hesitation at all.
Because if you take Rattler, then you might not get the Jameis experience. And
hey, if there's one guy who's one of these young dudes that could recreate the Jameis experience and has the irrational confidence in himself, it's the dude who was doing that at South Carolina.
I've already picked out the Jameis successor. It's like Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard.
Oh, Will Levis.
Yes. Will Levis is Charmander Jameis.
That is hilarious. All right, we got some super chats to get into that we'll head out. Curtis, can you put them on screen for me?
Yeah, we got the first super chat, one from Ray Rags. You know how mad people have to be at a coach that a kicker can miss 2 field goals and not a single person talking about that. F you, Ryan Day. Kiss my ass. Can't wait to see him somehow F up Julian Sane next season. I hate this man.
Yeah, I agree on all accounts.
I can't wait for the Ryan Day at Florida Atlantic.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Our
bad.
We got us the old Power 5 guy. Like, you know how those G5 schools love getting the wash P5 guy? It is like, yeah, some school in Florida gonna do it, dog.
What are you with me for?
USF did.
Yeah, let them have it.
Because they gonna be UCF. They in the Big 12 now. They too big for all of that now.
All right, the next one is from Autistic Kid. Jameis is still the same type of QB that crosses the line of scrimmage and tries to fake a throw as he gingerly strolls across the first down line.
Real hoops.
Everybody do it.
Hey, real hoops. Or like the fake, like DTR does that and he don't even ever throw it. He just put the ball up. Like, you ain't even about to throw. Like, let's get the next one.
Christian Corley says, I'm sad they moved Browns Bengals out of prime time. The nation should witness 2024 Joe Burrow and no defense versus 2024 Jameis Winston.
Let me tell you something. Jameis gonna light that Bengals defense up when they.
You remember that Rams Chiefs game that ended like 54-51?
Yeah.
That's what it would be.
No, it's gonna be a Big 12 game, brother. That's gonna be Big 12 football. Like, Jerry Jeudy, get your running shoes on. Don't even wear cleats.
All right. Another one is from Autistic Kid again. Jameis has dreams about his passes the night before. Okay.
Jameis is the most successful quarterback to believe that none of his success is truly based on any of his hard work. Like he is just like, nah, man, I just followed the plan. Like,
the horses are prepared for battle.
Yeah.
Victory.
God deliver me from these pick sixes. Praying like he's not throwing them. That's the crazy thing. He out here like, God deliver me.
I'm asking the Lord to deliver me from these pick sixes.
I'm like, these ain't pit balls. Like, they catching them bitches straight up.
Specifically said pick sixes. Not any of the other ones, though.
No, he understands that the acts of God to deliver him from interceptions is nuts. Okay, like, he ain't that powerful. But
yeah, Jesus, like, I can't help you with that one, son.
Like, hey, bro, I got other shit to do. Okay, that's a full-time job. So just help me out with some of these pick sixes, man. Like, hey, look, you joke, but it looked like God got in Jerry Jeudy to stop that last one. Okay. Like, pure hate, Jerry Jeudy on that last tackle of the game. He was like, nah, y'all not about to beat me by 2 touchdowns. Okay.
All right, the next one is from Autistic Kid again. Reminder, we did 500 passing yards without Coop. Also, Jeudy is only 25. We can have him for another 5 years.
Good Lord, Jerry Jeudy is younger than Cam McCormick.
How did you circle back?
Because he's 25. That's so much younger, dog.
I did not think you were going to be able to circle back to that. But, hey, nobody is saving Andrew Berry's legacy quite like Jerry Jeudy, man.
Hey, man. Hey, nobody. Andrew Berry has made some trades at wide receiver that have worked out. Like, every trade he's made that was not Deshaun Watson, which you could argue too big of a decision just to be his, feels like it works. But it's just that Watson one, right? And the real problem with the Watson one isn't that you traded for him, is that you gave him the contract. And that absolutely is not a decision that Andrew Berry makes by himself. Right? Like, $230 million. That's a Jimmy decision. Like,
all right, the next one is from Mike C. Rodriguez. Jameis would approximately have 5,994 yards in a full 17-game season. Watson total passing yards in his total career 3,365 yards. Yeah, DW is gone. For what
5,994 yards if he starts the entire season.
Jameis Winston throws the ball like cover two, cover who, bro? Like this shit ain't happening. Everybody else like you got to throw check downs in this too high shell world, and Jameis is like, yeah, or you could just throw that bitch.
That's why I love him so much. That's why I love him so much. He is of the old style of quarterback where we're not going to throw check downs.
Mm-hmm.
The hole is right there. The best way to beat cover two is going down the hash or down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw it there.
Hey, Jameis throws passes sometimes. I'm like, he's just seeing how fast that safety is. Like, that's for later, right? He's like, I can beat him there with the ball.
He literally just be like, "Hey, you see how I ain't get there, right? You see how I ain't get there? We gonna go back to that later."
Quarterbacks don't think like that no more. Like that touchdown to David Njoku, pure. I'm gonna beat him there before he get there. Like it's not a great read, but I'm gonna beat him with the ball. Like.
I'm not sure how accurate this is. This is from Matthew Betts on Twitter. Jameis is projected at 5,000 for a 17-game pace, 5,712 yards, 34 touchdowns,
yes,
24 interceptions.
I mean,
I take it. I take it. I take that. You know what I'm saying?
As long as like there's only like 4 pick sixes and like a good 10, 15 of those interceptions are downfield, I'm good with it. Like
that's 10 less than the infamous season. That's progress.
That's 4 less than the infamous season. He had 30. Okay.
I thought he had more than that.
No, it was 30 and 30, right? It was perfect 30 for 30.
Oh, well, still progress. I'll take that.
Hey, shout out to Jameis because he was the only thing keeping Baker Mayfield from leading the league in interceptions in 2019. Like, I think Baker had a healthy 19 that year. Big Ben was right behind him with like 18 that year too. Like,
all right, we got another super chat. With Winston, Judy is on pace to be a 2,000-yard receiver.
It's Randy Moss
Watson,
Jameis Winston in there.
Jameis is the best friend of all time.
Yeah, Tom Brady, Randy Moss, Jerry Judy, Jameis Winston, same thing.
Close enough. Welcome back, Joe Montana and Jerry Rice.
Hey,
so you're telling me, hold on, you're telling me Jerry Judy got 33 more yards in one game than he had in 7 games with Deshaun Watson throwing in the ball.
That is incredible.
Hey, all the evidence to why that dude cannot play quarterback for this team anymore is damning. It's overwhelming. It just everything is damning.
It makes the Diddy case look like a tough case to prosecute. Like that is how much evidence is out there, dog.
How did you work? How did you work, Diddy? It was
the first thing that popped in my mind. Like, dog, they got you on video. Like, Deshaun, this is the equivalent of getting caught on video in 4K, and then you look at the camera and be like, yeah, it's me. Like, who's the problem with the offense? Deshaun Watson, number 4, like quarterback out of Clemson. Yes, me. I'm the problem right here. Like, this is definitely the easiest case to ever prosecute of all time. That the quarterback's been the problem.
So I did some quick research with Deshaun on the field. The Browns' success rate is 38% this year, which would have them, I believe, either tied. I think they are just above the Indianapolis Colts, and they're just above the Indianapolis Colts. With Deshaun off the field, they're at 45% success rate, which isn't great by any standards. But a 45% success rate is higher than the Cincinnati Bengals this year.
You want to know something? What was the success rate? You want to know what the success rate is? What do you say? What was the success rate for 37? 38%. Tim Couch, 59 starts with the Cleveland Browns, 38.2% success rate. I got more. Charlie Fry, 19 starts with the Cleveland Browns, 41.1 success rate. Now, I got more. JP Kelly Holcomb, 12 starts with the Cleveland Browns, 47% success rate. Derek Anderson, y'all remember Derek Anderson? Yeah, 44.2% success rate. Brady Quinn's lower, 35.7. Okay, he's inching out Brady Quinn. Colt McCoy, 42.3% success percentage.
Their EPA per play with Deshaun on the field will be tied with the Raiders for dead last in the NFL.
This one gonna break Colt. You say Deshaun Watson's again? What's his success percentage?
38%.
20 starts. Brandon Wheaton, 38.7.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. Stay your ass at home. We are okay. We are good. We are good. We are okay. Stay your ass at home. Enjoy your money, please.
Brian Hoyer, 16 starts, 41.8. He only best Deshaun Kaiser and Brady Quinn. And that's it. Since the Browns have come back, of starters who have played 12 or more games, Deshaun Watson only best those two guys.
Brady Quinn and Brady.
Arguably the two youngest and worst quarterbacks you've played. Yes. Keep in mind, Brady Quinn and Deshaun Kaiser, second year and first year. Deshaun Watson's an 8-year vet.
Their EPA with Deshaun on the field is negative 0.19, which would be tied with the Raiders for last in the NFL. With Deshaun off the field.
You said that stat, and I didn't think to myself, man, Deshaun Watson's bad. I thought to myself, God damn, how bad are the Raiders?
with Deshaun off the field, they are at negative 0.06, which isn't great, but they are not dead last. In fact, they're only one spot behind the Houston Texans, who are leading the division, and they are 2 spots behind projected playoff teams, the Seattle Seahawks and Denver Broncos.
There's not a single stat that defends him.
There's not one. There's nothing. There's nothing you could point to be like, oh, it'll get better if we. No, he has to go.
He had the worst stretch of quarterback play I have ever seen from a veteran quarterback in my life. And I watched what was homeboy in Houston that went out with the pick sixes, right? Was it not David Carr? What was his name? He was a pretty mid quarterback back
Matt
then. Matt Schwab. Yes. Like, this is the worst stretch I've ever seen a veteran quarterback go on. Let's get to the super chats, finish them out.
All right, yeah. Ray Rags is crashing out apparently. I forget his name, but he was a former assistant coach under Urban at Ohio State, who has a podcast. I know who he's talking about. And he said a Michigan coach told him they were completely surprised that this was their game plan.
Yeah, you don't know why they were surprised? Because you can't believe that anybody with a brain would run right up the middle at 2 first-round fucking picks with a backup offensive line all game when you've got the best wide receiver prospect.
Ohio State, you telling me Michigan was like, yo, dog, I'm glad we didn't cheat. This is better.
Like, cheated in the first place.
Yeah, man. Because if we would have cheated, we would have prepared. It probably did too much to counter that, right? Like, no, y'all just played right into our head. Okay. Like,
best wide receiver prospect in how many years has played at Ohio State? 1 target, second half. 1 target.
This is from Autistic Kid. They had CJ, Marv, Jason, Olave, Garrett, effing Wilson.
And they got shit to show for it.
Hey.
Nothing.
Did he win the Big Ten?
No.
He's never won the Big Ten.
No.
I can't believe people. I'm sorry. If you rocking for this in Columbus, dog, I'm losing respect. This is nuts.
Ryan Day did win the Big Ten. It was 2019. He won the Big Ten.
Okay.
But after
was he acting head coach Ryan Day though?
No, he was the head coach. He won the Big Ten in 2019 and 2020 during the COVID year. He hasn't won it since.
He ain't won the Big Ten in 4 years at Ohio State, man. And he ain't beat Michigan.
Get him the fuck out of here, bro.
Bruh, like,
get him out of here.
With it. I can't rock with it. This man is mediocre.
Ray Rags with another crash out. that drive when they scored the TD is what pisses me off even more. They finally do the thing they could have done the entire game, and they stop. How the fuck does Jeremiah Smith get one target in the second half?
We don't know, Ray. We don't know, bro. We don't know.
I was watching this. This was the funnest game to watch on Blue Sky because I was watching the Ohio State diehards like, yeah, we finally spread them out. This our game. We about to eat now. And then they just went straight back to being a turtle. And I was like, how you not see this coming, dog? You do this all the time.
It's like when I posted that tweet on, like, I don't know what to call it, like Blue Sky. It's like he's trying to prove a point about the team, and he doesn't need to do that. Like, dog, just air it out and just let them cook. Like, you don't have to prove anything to anybody.
Jim Harbaugh don't even coach this team anymore. Who are you trying to prove the point to? Who are you trying to prove the point to?
I'm telling you,
he's trying to prove a point to himself.
It's the biggest mental block. I don't even know if there's any comparison for it because he thinks he has to prove that this team is more physical and they have a culture of physicality at Ohio State when you don't have to.
I mean, if that was like what you wanted to prove, you could just be better at it too.
That's also true.
There's no way a 6-5 Michigan team should be out physicaling you. This ain't like with Georgia out physicals Indiana in a couple weeks or something like that. Like, oh, what you gonna do? This Georgia, like, you are the bigger program. Like, you got all the better players. Like, for the most part, just do something. Get them moving left or right. Like, you don't gotta run straight at Mason.
All right, another crash out from Ray Rags. They just need a coach who isn't a bitch in the only game that matters if you don't make a national championship game.
Thank you. Been saying it.
He said you can't out physical somebody when your coach bitch made. It's crazy.
It's also true, bro. He's a bitch. True. Like, it
starts at the top.
I guarantee you, if Mike Vrabel was the head coach, I wouldn't be calling him a bitch. I know that.
Says a lot. Hey, look. Says a lot about Urban Meyer because apparently ain't no sucker in him, right?
Hey, man, you can say a lot of bad things about Urban Meyer,
coach.
Hey, because look, also Jim Harbaugh went and talk all this garbage until Urban Meyer was gone. So apparently it ain't nothing sweet over there with Urban Meyer, dog.
You know why? Because you can tell when somebody is a bitch. Urban Meyer ain't no bitch. Yeah. You can say a lot of bad things about Urban Meyer. You can't say that
anymore. How does a man like Urban Meyer, who has once housed the Pouncey brothers and the Hernandez brother, sit here and be like, yeah, Ryan Day, that's my guy.
I can say so many bad things about Urban Meyer. But one thing I cannot say is them players fight for him.
Hey, he got Tim Tebow to come out of
retirement, will fight for him.
Okay, to get blown up by Myles Garrett in the preseason. Like, that's respect. Like, Tim Tebow was out here playing baseball and on the SEC network was like, nah, I'll suit up to play tight end. Like, tight end 3, like, to block.
Did it for
I think his baseball career had ended at that point. Like,
he did that for Herb, dog. He did that for Herb.
He did that for the homie. And I'm just wondering, this is like on The Wire where you find out that Naaman is Weebay's son, and you like, son, coaching football might not be your game, dog. Like, you need to go to school. Okay? You need to get off them corners. Can't believe. You from Irvin? Why? Whew. We got another super chat.
Yeah, we do. Ray Rags is continuing his crash out. Colb, I apologize for saying Will Howard had played well the last few weeks last show.
And I told y'all what it was with Will, man. I know bad quarterbacks when I see it. Listen, we Browns fans. You know a terrible quarterback when you see it. You know a bad quarterback when you see it. Hey. I'm sorry.
Hey, look, all the time y'all yelled at what's his name out there, said Kyle McCord for not throwing the Marvin Harrison Jr. It might have been systemic. Okay.
You know how bad you got to play for people to start asking for Kyle McCord to come back? Like, Kyle McCord hadn't played that well at Syracuse this season. He just has a lot of stats because they throw the ball 60 times a game. And they asked for that guy back.
I'm glad he played like this because I was getting way too many Ohio State fans asking me if the Browns should draft Will Howard, and I didn't know how to break that news to him gently.
Yeah, as a tight end.
I'm like, can it catch? Like,
I'll learn how to run block.
I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna say, do some Taysom stuff, man.
Yeah.
Get the fullback spot on pistol.
Nah, Q, I ain't gonna lie to you. It was funny watching people find out that Will Howard not it in real time. Because they was over here like, man, y'all see, once we got away from the program, you know, we was melanated and mobile, we was good, and now we got Will Howard, and we ain't good. I was like, y'all figured it out finally, okay.
Hey, look, it's damning.
Hey, when people start pounding the table for black quarterbacks, well, you know,
in Ohio.
Over.
Okay,
Ohio?
like, this ain't Cleveland, right? Like Ohio State not in Cleveland. Ohio State is in Ohio. Okay, like
when they start pounding the table, we need to go. We need
they
to go
out
get some
there
black
next to them
quarterbacks.
cornfields. Like, hey, you know what? It didn't look like this under JT Barrett. Like, he beat Michigan, damn it. Like,
oh, man, it's all bad. It's all bad.
hey, bro. Hey, Urban Meyer famously went with Dwayne Haskins over Joe Burrow. He learned his lesson with Braxton Miller. He was like, nah, I'm playing Braxton. I'm playing Braxton. I'm playing Cordell. I'm playing all of these dudes, dog. Meanwhile, Joe Burrow, future MVP. Nope. He had to go to LSU. Like,
Oh, man.
All right, I got a couple more super chats. Ray Rags again. Also, Ohio State's defense and Jim Knowles should go kick Ryan Day's ass. They did everything to win that game, but they said F it.
hey, do you think Ohio State's situation, like, imagine how frustrating it is if Texas's quarterback never transfers from Ohio State? Like,
That's the only Ohio State recruit to beat Michigan.
oh shit, he did. Hey, no.
Yeah.
Ooh. He looking at the rest of that class like, hey, bro, I did it.
Dog, you gave up 13 points. I know they pissed. You give up 13 points. Jack Sawyer had a pick in it.
Jack Sawyer should be an Ohio State legend for that pick.
Now we calling him a
that,
loser.
walk-on dude that Georgia was.
Now he got a. Now the only thing we remember Jack Sawyer for is crying on the field after a flag got put down.
Damn, man, he's this generation's Mike Hart. Like, it's a damn shame. This is like when Michigan had Chad Henne out there for 5 fucking years. He didn't beat Ohio State. Now it's you. Okay. Hey, you think Chad Henne gonna try to get back in there and get him something while the going's good? Like he gonna try to coach at Michigan for a year to get a win over Ohio State?
I would. It's
Hey.
time to get your league back right now.
Yeah, if I'm Mike Hart, I'm like, hey, you need a running back coach. Like, I'll be an assistant. We gonna get this one, dog. Whew. We got the next one.
Yeah, we can go through a couple more. We can speed run. Caleb Gwynn, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Just got here.
Caleb Gwynn?
Caleb Gwynn, yeah. Just got here. Ryan Day ruined my whole weekend. Gonna rewatch the stream for an actual quality viewing experience.
Yeah,
Ryan
you'll
Day.
see me cussing. You'll see me cussing a little bit.
Hey man, shout out to Ryan Day.
Fuck him. We ain't shouting him out. Absolutely not. Shout
Gave
out
us a
Ryan Day.
Good hour. Look, hey, it feel like we done made at least $100 off of Ryan Day hate. Okay, you got to shout the man out. He good for the content. Hey, Ohio State, 3 more years. Okay.
Extension.
Yeah. Jameis Winston, Ryan Day, we might not win a lot of games, but we gonna make a lot of videos. Okay.
All right, I got 2 more. One more actually. I'm gonna go through. This is from Caleb again. Put Aaron Nolan in immediately. I have some breaking news for that. That's not going to happen. Julian saying is probably going to be the next one to start. Aaron Nolan, I don't know what's going to happen. Honestly, I really don't.
Transfer to LSU and be Heisman.
Win the Heisman. I would be like, get this fucking dude out of this program, man. Making all the wrong decisions.
How thankful is Ryan Day that he gets none of the like Joe Burrow, like, oh yeah, he wasn't how thankful is he that like in the midst when it looked like it was a really good move to go with Dwayne Haskins over Joe Burrow, where it was like, oh yeah, Ryan Day, he really helped me come to that decision. Then it pops up in a press conference, and we're like, get this fucking guy out of here. Like,
Literally has not done one thing right this entire time.
oh my God. Oh, and it's like, hey man, you could just we can point out that the steep fall off that happened at Ohio State, but this team did start underachieving once he became an offensive coordinator of the team in 2017. You can't kind of point a line of hey, they lost to Purdue that year, right? The offensive turtling had started before that. Whew. What hell of a coach, man. What hell of a coach. We good on super chats?
Yeah, there's a whole lot, but we ain't gonna get through all of them. There's no.
What's the rest?
All right, we've got a couple. I'm gonna go through.
Yeah, let's go shoot through them. People
Mike C. Rodriguez said, crazy that the NFL record for passing yards in a game was set in 1951. Norm Van Brocklin passed for 554 yards when the LA Rams beat the New York Yanks.
It's a lot of Cooper DeJohns going on at that time.
All right.
Let's get the next.
Even crazier. Jameis is one pass away from breaking.
I'll say Jameis.
He almost broke the color barrier.
What, he finished with 497. He hits that. What, it was like a 70-yard touchdown to Judy.
It might have been 80. It might have been 80 yards. He hit that bomb to Jerry Judy. He legitimately would have passed that.
Let's say 80. Let's say 80.
Jerry Judy and Jameis Winston would have had their jerseys in the Hall of Fame.
If Jameis hit that 80-yard touchdown to Jerry Judy, he would have finished with 577 passing yards.
Record.
In a 2024 NFL football game.
Oh my God. Who said cover 2 ruined everything?
Just employ Jameis.
Yeah. Look, I can't wait for Jameis Winston, quarterback coach.
Oh God.
This is gonna be him with a green traffic sign. Just just go. No throw's a bad throw if you throw it hard enough.
He's gonna have a big sign that says "Throw that bitch."
We don't throw checkdowns.
Jameis Winston is what Ricky Davis was to the NBA, where it's just they don't let these people be this inefficient anymore, right from the field. Right, Ricky Davis would take 40 shots. I'm nah, they don't let you do it no more like that.
Oh man, it's only a very select few who can get away with doing something like that.
You got to be really good, right? This was back before the day where you didn't have to be good to throw 60, right?
All right,
Sam Bradford watching Jameis Winston this is what it's about. Go ahead, Curtis.
All right, another one. This is the last one. This is from Ray Rags, another crash out. At least Brandon Weed knew how to throw the ball down the damn field to the best receiver on the roster. It was the only thing he had, but still.
Hey,
Josh down there somewhere.
Hey, it worked for him in college too. Look, if Brandon Weeden knew one thing, throw it to the big motherfucker. That's what I do. Justin Blackman, catch it. Here it comes. Hey, Josh Gordon, he looked at him okay, same thing. Cool. He got it. There was no processing. Brandon Weeden was playing baseball out here. He was just throwing to third base every play. Truthfully.
He was too old to be actually learning people's names and doing any of the true quarterback stuff. He only remember one.
Do you remember the ESPN documentary they did on him before he got drafted, and then you found out that Brandon Weeden lived in a McMansion in college?
Hey man, it wasn't a super chat. But there's one comment. There's one more comment I gotta read real quick. Our dog Mac Robinson said, by he means Ryan Day, did compare the idea of beating 6-6 Michigan to losing his father, and I'm just oh man.
He did what?
Yes.
Wait, let me read that again. He compared the idea of beating 6-5 Michigan to losing his father. How did he compare these things?
Fire him now, bro. Fire him now.
It's heartless, but you have to look at it and be and then you lost. And then you lost. Oh God. Oh, Ryan Day. If he Like, what can he do to keep his job at this point?
Why did you bring that man into this? Why did you bring that man into this? He ain't did nothing to nobody.
Oh, I saw some out-of-pocket tweets about that.
Oh, there was a billion of them.
Ohio State fans are ruthless. Because as soon as I logged into Twitter, I was on the road driving during the game. As soon as I logged into Twitter, there were like 12 different people posting his address. And I was like, damn, how's the game going?
Oh, he got doxxed immediately.
Damn.
Like, how did all 12 of y'all know the address?
And
He was waiting on that information.
I do not condone that behavior at all whatsoever.
That's nuts.
But they do need to fire his ass immediately.
For his own safety, it would appear. Like, what? Why would you even want to still coach there, dog? Like,
if I was him, I would just resign, step down, make it a lot more easier because the buyout is kind of the same, to be honest with you. So I would expect that to happen basically in a couple months. I'm just throwing it out there.
An extension at some point in his career at Ohio State. Because I'm trying to find out, how did Ryan Day have enough leverage to have a crazy buyout? Like, how is he expensive? Like, how is he the expensive hire?
In May of 2022, Ryan Day signed a 7-year contract extension that will lock him into the university until 2028.
You telling me after the second time he lost to Michigan, they gave this man an extension?
Keep in mind, this is the worst Michigan team that we've seen probably like a decade, and you lost.
No, I'm saying they gave him an extension in 2022 after they seen him do this 2 times.
I'm just saying, like, this.
What did they do in the playoff? Did they even make the playoff that year? 2022. That was before CJ almost beat Georgia. No, they didn't. 2022, was that the year Cincinnati made it?
Yeah, I think that was the year Cincinnati made it.
Dog, where does the self-respect in Columbus, man? Y'all supposed to be one of them schools like Alabama where, like, hey, you go 8-4, like, you on the hot seat, brother. Like, Caleb DeBoer is not sitting comfortable. Y'all letting Ryan Day sit like a king on some foolishness right now, dog.
Hey, don't say y'all. We don't make the decision.
For what it's worth, his buyout is $37.28 million.
Hey,
which is a lot of money, but it's not bad compared to everybody else. Like, Kirby Smart's buyout, if he were to be fired at Georgia, is $118 million.
That's what I'm saying, bro. If we cared, he wouldn't be the coach anymore. If we actually cared.
$37 million for
they can eat that. For Ohio State University, you can eat that easy.
Him and Deshaun Watson gonna be at the same all-inclusive institutions for the next 2 years, doing nothing, dog. Eating off this free Ohio money, man. Like, imagine that picture, dog. They link up, take a picture together, Ryan Day and Deshaun Watson.
Oh gosh.
Hey, that quote tweet I have will be the greatest tweet I ever
That
seen.
will be the greatest section of quote tweets ever. Okay.
That might be the last tweet I said. I'm like, yeah, it's not gonna get better than this.
This is Ryan Day and Deshaun Watson at an all-white party. Like,
all right, I think that's a pretty good. I think that's a pretty good place. To end.
Yeah. We're not topping that. We're not topping that.
Real quick, Michigan just fired their offensive coordinator.
They fired people off to win. They won the game. It's like, we can do better.
But meanwhile, I'll say like, nah, man, we gotta see it out with Ryan Day.
Bro, they
scored 3 more points than Ohio State and fired their offensive coordinator, and we're like, nah, man, Ryan Day still got it.
Nah, they said, hey, we came in here, we whooped y'all last, but we could do a lot better than that, man.
We should have won by 20.
Mind you, the game before they played Ohio State, they scored 50 against Northwestern.
Damn, bro.
They
look at that.
The coordinator.
They're like, oh yeah, we only scored 13 against Ohio State.
Not good enough. Sorry.
And they like, yeah, well, I beat Ohio State. Like, yeah, we do that every year. That don't matter. Like, we could get
That's
another
where we
guy to
are
come
now.
in here and beat Ohio State.
That's what we are now.
Ooh, ooh. Ryan Day gonna be coaching for his life in the playoffs, dog. He gonna be cooking up the craziest screens he can find.
Nothing short of winning the national championship should save his job.
Man, that'll be the most suckerific national champion of all time. I'm sorry, like I can't watch.
Be a very like,
yeah, that'd be like a very like
the most bozo national champion of all time.
That would be the greatest argument against a 12-team playoff. Because you could make the argument a suckerific team like Ohio State should have never made it to begin with. Their season should have ended by losing to Michigan and not making the Big Ten championship. Like, that's it. Like, nah, we don't need 12 teams. Go back to 8 or 4. Okay? Like, we letting too many in, dog. This is nuts. Oh. But all right, JP, thank you for coming on. Cole, appreciate you being here. Same thing with Curtis. Great job behind the scenes. Clap it up for Curtis, everybody. Shout out to, is that an Assassin's Creed hoodie?
No, it's a hoodie I got from this one website. So
okay.
Oh yeah, real quick while we got JP. JP, what anime you watching, brother?
Right now my girlfriend and I are watching Dan to Dan.
All right. Well, JP, let them know where to find your work.
You can find my work at SB Nation. I am the NFL writer, college football writer, NFL writer, NFL draft writer. Anywhere where there's football being played, you can find me. I just wrote about Jameis Winston and an appreciation of the flaming trebuchet style of quarterback that Jameis Winston is. You can always find Established Fun every Wednesday. I write about things that I think are fun in football, but follow along, see what I'm doing, see where I'm going.
You know, in basketball, they have a player like an archetype called "Fuck the team, shoot the J." Jameis Winston is love the team, throw the post. But Cole, man, appreciate you being on there. You got anywhere you want people to check out?
Hey man, y'all know, check me out on Twitter. I still be on there because that's where everybody is when sports are being played. So I gotta participate, make jokes, and do what I do. But you know what? Follow me on Blue Sky. colb.bsky.social. Follow Q too, because that's the only platform that he posts his thoughts on.
I ain't
now.
trying to have conversations with people on Twitter no more, man. Like, I post links on Twitter. Like, come watch my shit. Get off this platform. But if you want to engage with me, follow me on Blue Sky. If you cool, we cool. You know, I'll be having conversations. JP be there, Cole be there, Curtis be there. You know, especially during the Cavs games. Me, Cole, and Curtis be out there tweeting those a lot too. So make sure you check that out. And you know, Curtis, man, let them know where they can read you at, brother.
SB Nation, cover Dogs by Nature. Got a good couple little articles coming out about the Browns in a little bit. So you know, y'all can go catch me up there. All
right. We got a full SB Nation representation up here. Vox Media is well represented here. But appreciate y'all for coming in. Appreciate everybody for watching, especially everybody who dropped the super chat. Ray Rags, hope you feel better, brother. Like, I hope you got it off your chest, man.
Yeah,
Like,
honestly,
I hope y'all good. You know, I hope we could be the vent session that you needed. You know, like,
we are always here for y'all vet session every single time. We always
hey, look, man, you just tweet Colb 2 things. He'll vent with you. Ryan Day in that time Baker Mayfield lost the game when Lamar Jackson threw 4 interceptions. He always ready to be angry about them 2 things.
Hey, me and Baker, we good. We in a good place now. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to let it go.
Would it be shot and poetic if he lost the playoff game where somebody else threw 4 interceptions, like Jared Goff throw 4 of them and he still lose?
I might relapse. I'm like, this motherfucker.
You might just be like, it might be the healing that you need where you're like, yeah, it's still the same fucking guy. But appreciate y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. Everybody have a great day. Have a better night. Peace.